The Rewatchables is brought to you by the Ringer Podcast Network, where you can find The Big Picture with Sean Fennessey. Oscar season.
Yeah, sure.
What's your leading contender now for Best Picture?
One battle after another.
Okay.
That's the favorite?
I think so.
All right. Cameron Crowe is here. You've never done The Rewatchables.
I have not.
You've had movies on The Rewatchables, including a movie we haven't done yet that is the most asked, why haven't you done this yet movie, Almost Famous. But as I always told people, it'll be the last movie we do.
Yeah, asked not just by fans of the show, but by many employees of The Ringer. When are we doing Almost Famous?
It's also the one that the most people who work for The Ringer have demanded to be on, which is really going to cause some problems. But regardless, and you have a new book, The Uncool.
I do. But let me thank you for the honor of the Almost Famous Rewatchables Pantheon spot.
It's the last one. That. It's the walk-off homer. But we asked you, I didn't want to have you on my real podcast because you've already been on it.
I have.
I was like, yeah, I did the
delightfully,
Rewatchables.
I must say. Really enjoyed it.
Asked you for a pick, and you picked Shampoo. And we're going to do that next. This episode of The Rewatchables is presented by State Farm. Whether you're debating watching that award-winning sports drama or rewatching your comfort buddy comedy movie for the 10th time, choices are important. When it comes to choosing coverage, a State Farm agent can help you find options that are right for you. Go online at statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to get help from one of their local agents like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. All right, Shampoo came out in 1975. This was your pick. Why?
I really started coming on to movies that spoke to the era that I felt we were in. And I loved Mike Nichols' movie, The Graduate and Carnal Knowledge and stuff. But Shampoo kind of bubbled up into this place where the music was great. I loved the interconnection between the characters. And I just thought, here's a new generation really in play of movie makers that I'm going to love. And I've gone back through it over the years. It's fun to talk about. I chose it for us.
So how old were you when Shampoo comes out? Are you in high school yet?
I think 18.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it was iconic in the moment, because Warren Beatty, who was known to be a womanizer and stuff, a ladies' man par excellence, was playing this hairdresser who was using the fact that he was a straight hairdresser to, sleep with, all the women in his friend group. And the complications that happened as a result of that, I just thought magnificently handled by Robert Towne. Hal Ashby was already my favorite director. So this was the third in a run for Hal Ashby that starts with Harold and Maude. So it's Harold and Maude, Last Detail, and then Shampoo. And you're like, wow, this guy can do a ton of different stuff. The actors love him. The words are great. And the music is epic. So I bring it into the lair to discuss.
Good music. Sean, what's your relationship with this movie?
I was -7 years old when the film was released. So I don't have that same in the moment connection to it. But the 1970s is my favorite period of American filmmaking. Hal Ashby is one of my favorite filmmakers as well. Robert Towne is also in the middle of an insane run. And so when you're getting your film education as a young person, as I was probably a teenager when I really started diving into all these movies, this is one of the big signposts. This is one of the most meaningful generational movies because it's a huge hit.
Yeah.
It's politically relevant. It's sexually and socially relevant.
Yeah.
It's a huge movie star movie. And a movie star persona movie, a movie star actively riffing on their persona. So it's got all this squishy, fun stuff to dig into as a fan. And it's also just very watchable and funny. It's not a slog. It's not difficult in any way. It's not homework. It's a popcorn movie about its time, which is a very hard thing to pull off. So I've always really liked it, and I'm stoked we're talking about it.
That's great. It's funny characters, really funny characters.
Well, I go through the teenager with cable version of the arc of this movie where you watch it the first time and it's like, these women are hot. Is there going to be some nudity? Couldn't they show more of the sex scene? And then you get older and you're like, this movie's really, then you go to college and you get into that, I'm now a film critic. I now have thoughts on how they make films. It was like, whoa, some really interesting choices in here. But you're thinking this guy's trying to get laid. It's a really funny movie. And then as you get a little older, you're like, oh, there's some layers to this.
Yeah.
And now I watch this in my 50s, and it's not a sex comedy at all. It's really about the late 60s and all of these different things going on. It's all stealth underneath. And it's so cool how it's pretending to be 3 different movies when it's really the 4th movie.
That's really well said. And the way he lays in politics and Nixon's being reelected the night of all this, and it's just, there's no dogma. There's no like, hitting it on the head with the generation is changing. It's like, it's just there. He's just like, Nixon is in scenes and stuff and actively like in a scene. You can just see him. He's so large that he's right in there with Beatty. It's brilliant.
So you have Nixon in there, but you also, it's like what you said about they're not overt about this generation does not fit in with this younger generation. It's the little stuff like Jack Warden, should I go in the hot tub?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, come on in, dude. And he's like, and he's just fumbling around. It's so funny to watch him at the party just awkwardly fitting in. I don't feel like movies do that enough anymore, where they'll try to bang you over the head with it versus like this very subtle.
But that's kind of the point of the movie, right? The point of the movie is all of this stuff is happening.
Right.
The world is happening and unfolding, and decisions about how power operates is happening. But in Beverly Hills and in 1968 and today, people, myself included, are just trying to get through their day. They've got their own concerns. They've got their own shit going on. They're trying to open salons. They're trying to record podcasts. Like, I got a lot of stuff I got to do. I can't actually participate civically in the way that maybe I should be. And it's like it's empathetic about that struggle, but also most of the characters are kind of buffoonish in a way too. Like, and it likes them, but it also sees that they're really flawed.
Yeah. And
it's trying to balance this very delicate thing of it's not trying to hector you about what your politics should be. It's not trying to hector the characters about their failure to identify those things, because everyone has kind of, been somehow invoked in this. But you do walk away watching it a second or third time thinking like, we're like a little fucked, there's definitely, it does have a kind of, there's a very bummer ending in this movie that is very really interesting to talk about too.
Yeah.
So it's not just a sex comedy and it's not just a political observation. It is this weird fusion, this mutant idea that is very rare in movies, I think.
Is it a bravura performance from Beatty? Or is it quietly bravura? This is the thing that I always wonder, because it's so kind of like, he floats through these scenes. He has great stuff to say, but like, it's kind of like, well, some say that's what he was like in the day. Just his seduction is in fact how he's kind of slightly bewildered by what's happening. But I'm incredibly handsome, but like, help me figure out how I'm going to sleep with you, but I got other things that are bothering me, and it's like they all fall for it.
Yeah, I wonder, he's one of those actors where you don't know where the person stops and the actor begins. Like,
huge for that.
Basically, Heaven Can Wait, which we did a few months ago on Rewatchables. I'm not sure there's any difference with this character and Joe Pendleton, because I think
that's so funny.
Beatty just kind of bleeds into whoever he's doing. But I think this is what he's really like. Women liked him. He was always stumbling from one place to the next. Like when he made this movie, apparently he just bought a house. He didn't even have anywhere to live.
Right.
And he would just bounce around and have
He's
these
living in
different
the hotel,
relationships.
right? The Beverly Wilshire.
Right. So this guy's on
Amazing.
a Triumph motorcycle. He's dating like 5 people at once. And he's just kind of bouncing around. And I think that was him.
It's hard to know if he's incredibly enigmatic or extremely clear to us. Like, because he's only given 5 movie performances in the last 40 years. I mean, he doesn't really work very often. It's usually only in films that he directs. He didn't direct this movie, but he clearly had a huge hand in making it.
Right.
And so it does seem like in this movie, in Heaven Can Wait, a little less so in Reds and in Dick Tracy, but even in Bulworth, it's kind of the similar persona that you're talking about, the sort of like bumbling person in charge. But he looks like Warren Beatty. And so like some great stars are like that. They're just
with
doing
a hairdo.
Yeah.
Slightly.
Well, he's very handsome dude, tall, strong. Like not like I worked out with a personal trainer to do, like you can see in some of the scenes, like there's a physicality to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see it with every woman, like, they're not going to be able to resist this guy, which I think is a really hard place to get to. Like even in Almost Famous, like Russell Hammond had that. You could be like, I see it.
Yeah, yeah.
I would not want to leave my girlfriend alone with this guy for 10 minutes. Like some people had that, but that was basically Beatty's entire 70s where you're like, I see it.
No question. He gives himself like a showcase moment in the bathroom scene where he's like, cutting Felicia's, is it Felicia?
Yeah.
It's Jackie's
Jackie's
hair. So
hair,
he's
yeah.
cutting Jackie's hair, but he gives himself a moment where he preens just a little bit. You see the physique, you see this like
Yeah.
freaking belt and his turquoise and his necklace and everything. And his ass is in the mirror reflected behind.
Right.
It's like,
it shows a little
it's
ass
like-
crack.
okay, we get this. It's 3 seconds, but you're here for the 3 seconds and you know what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So it's fascinating. There's a cool little Easter egg of a piece of information that I thought I'd share with you guys.
Oh.
So Paul Simon was like the hottest guy around at that time for doing, a song for a movie, like Sounds of Silence, Graduate, all that stuff. So Beatty really was looking for a song to end the movie, but he was also looking for a score from Paul Simon. And I guess we can look it up, but I guess there was quite a dance to get the new song from Paul Simon or the new score. But ultimately, all he came up with was "Do-do-do," which plays throughout the movie in every possible way. It's just "do-do-do." That's all it is. Ooh.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange. So meanwhile, I guess Beatty is dating or is about to date Joni Mitchell. And he asks Joni Mitchell for a song. And Joni Mitchell writes a song called Sweet Bird, as in Sweet Bird of Youth, that references kind of the iconography of Beatty and Splendor in the Grass. I mean, it's a seriously insightful song about the persona and the character. And he heard it and he's like, no. Great song, not great for this movie. And if you listen to the song and think about what the power of a song like that would have been over the last scene, it's not the bumbling guy. It's the movie would know that was a persona under which was incredible insecurity and doubt. But he was like, no, don't need that song in the movie. I'll take do-do-do.
Right.
And so
that's great.
It's fascinating. And so
Didn't
check out
Carly
Sweet
Simon
Bird.
write You're So Vain too about him?
Supposedly, yeah.
That was always the rumor.
Yeah. Well, if you get too real, good song, not for me.
I think if you were an attractive celebrity in the 70s, you definitely climbed in the ring with Beatty at least one night and were circled by him.
In the
I don't know
ring?
if anything
You're
happened.
circled
I think there was always a moment where he's probably like, oh, you.
Yeah.
I haven't met you yet. How are you? I'm Warren Beatty. And just did the Warren Beatty thing on them.
Yeah.
And then said, in this movie, he's breaking up with Julie Christie. He's starting to date Michelle Phillips, who had just broken up with Jack Nicholson. He's propositioning everybody in the he's just. But I think he did it in the same way that the Shampoo character does it, where it never feels like he's going for it. It's just kind of and then he's stumbling into yet another thing.
It's so funny too, because I think a lot of critics and academics read the movie as kind of an end of the free love era.
Correct.
You know, 68 being this critical time and everything that's coming soon. But Warren Beatty is still living in the free love era at this time. It hasn't closed for him.
So he said the book that was written about him, which is really good by Biskin, it's called Star. Beatty's explanation for the movie was Vietnam polarized the town. Shampoo's audience was the audience that didn't want to go to war, that used every means to end the war. Then Watergate destroyed authority in the country, ended trust in politicians. What Shampoo had to say was our generation at the time had to say about America, which is we're not being honest about the way we're governed. Our leaders are not being honest. We're not honest about what we stand for. I don't think the people today remember very clearly the heat of political passion that existed during this period. Now nobody gives a shit. Now he said this 15, 20 years ago.
Interesting.
Kind of still the case to some degree, right?
Interesting.
And to me, the big theme of this movie is selling out, right? It's people that
absolutely
maybe they could shape what's happening, but they're kind of good with their lives. I like my house.
Yeah.
I'll end up with Jack Warden, even though he's way older than me, and I'm still in love with this other guy, but I'll have a better life with this person. That to me is the theme of the movie.
Yeah, and Jill, Goldie Hawn's character, really ends up being the one that pries herself out of that cycle in a cool way. We never know
with the guy with the mustache.
Yeah, Tony Bell. You know, what is it? Johnny Pope.
Johnny Pope,
the
Johnny
director.
Pope, yes.
Yeah.
With the neckerchief. But we never know if she sleeps with him. We never know if she gets the job to go to Egypt that he's dangling. All we know is that she opts out. of the Beatty stew of people who are selling out to one degree or another. And it's interesting because even as a little guy seeing it, I knew that Goldie Hawn's character was my favorite character, even though he doesn't really profess love to her in the movie. And it's just kind of subtly put in there that she takes off and in a heroic way, and actually is the only truth-telling character to George. Like, she's the one that says, "You are not real. You're a phony. Be true to yourself." And he not only doesn't he take it, he really doesn't take it. And barely is believable when he professes a kind of love to her later in the movie. It's an interesting character, but I think Goldie steals the movie.
She's great. She's the only non-cynic in the movie.
Yeah.
Every other character has been betrayed or been lied to in a way that was so unforgivable that they then have like metastasized it. She still feels like she's pure. She's at the beginning of something. So maybe.
Well, she gets the only real answer out of him, right? And he's like, yeah, I just like having sex with people.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
All of them.
Guilty.
Yeah. I fucked them all. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask, because there's definitely a lot of DNA tissue for Almost Famous, right? Where you have, there's a big party scene. There's Goldie Hawn. You have the daughter who, Goldie Hawn, I think would have been Penny Lane 25 years earlier.
No question.
You have the selling out piece. Like it's like, obviously you see this movie, you love it when you're 18. And then that stuff gets sprinkled when you have the ability to make a movie. But what did you take from it?
Well, I'll tell you, great question. When Goldie Hawn, Jill, discovers the earring, in an early scene, and realizes that he's fucking all of the people.
Right. Everyone's in play.
You guys, that moment, and I didn't even realize it until I watched Shampoo again recently, the moment where Goldie Hawn goes through the realization cycle is so much like Kate in Almost Famous, What Kind of Beer?
Right.
And I wanted that kind of moment and didn't even realize that I was going for a moment that her mother had patented in that movie, because he leaves the camera on her. He lets, Ashby leaves the camera on Goldie and lets her go through it. And it's fucking amazing. And Kate does it too. Kate's also great in her new movie, this Song Sung Blue movie. She channels the same kind of reality as Goldie in Shampoo. She's great.
It's so funny that Kate, like, basically is replicating this Goldie persona. It's almost like when Kobe was like, "I love Michael Jordan. I'm just gonna," but in this case they're related, so it makes way more sense. But it's just funny. Like, I was watching Goldie Hawn in this movie, thinking like Kate probably could have been the character in this movie, right? I don't know another parent daughter/son thing where the people, you could just see them switching parts for like 10 years of movies, basically.
Wait till Ben Simmons starts podcasting.
Yeah,
that's when it's going to happen.
When my son takes my job. Wait, can we go back to Beatty for 1 second?
Let's do it.
So we did this a little bit in The Last Heaven Can Wait. It's about like how aware he was of who he was and what he should be in a movie and what he shouldn't be in a movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's stuff like, did he ever really get in a fist fight with anybody in a movie? Was he ever a bad guy?
There's a struggle in the parallax view.
Right.
In the apartment, I can remember.
Yeah.
A brief struggle.
He always was kind of close to himself, but we did this the last time. All the movies he turned down. He turned down The Sundance Kid, Michael Corleone, Gordon Gekko, Jack Horner. He turned down The Sting, Great Gatsby, Superman, Splash, Big. Turned down Dave, Indecent Proposal, which I think would have been great. Kill Bill and Kill Bill and Misery. And that's all in 20 years. He turned all those down because he was like, he didn't want to take risks.
He would have been great in like 90% of those too.
Yeah.
You can see why the writers and filmmakers wanted him for those parts. So interesting.
If he's in Indecent Proposal, that movie's amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, she might not come back. Like, this could be
amazing.
It.
Wow.
And then the other one he did that he's actually in, that's really fascinating, that I might want to do on Rewatchables at some point, is Truth or Dare, when he's dating Madonna.
Oh, yeah.
And he's in there as Warren Beatty, like, kind of interacting with her world, and he's so confused by it.
Not a performance though, but a performance. Like, you can
measure performance,
but you can measure what his screen persona is against that documentary, and the fact that there is not such a wide barrier between those two things.
So what's his best? What's his number one performance for you?
Oh, wow.
Sean's going to go stealth with his pick. I'm just warning you.
I'm gonna go Shampoo. I
Shampoo,
like it.
okay.
Yeah, I really like it.
I think his best movie acting is probably Reds, and it feels the furthest away from what he actually is.
It's a good point.
And he holds that big movie like that on his shoulders. But I would rather watch this movie any day of the week. I love Parallax View as well.
Yeah, I would go
Parallax View's
Shampoo
great.
as well, only because I can't imagine anyone else playing this part.
And he
I just
lassos that
can't
thing
think of
that
one
we're
other
talking
person.
about. And he's also running the movie
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
at the same time.
There
So
is
you
no
know
movie without him, right?
He's in all of the movie. So I love it. I need to know more about his relationship with Ashby making the movie. I wonder if it was,
There's a lot of good stuff written about that. But in
gotta
the
check it
two
out.
Biskin books about, hard to tell how much he took over the movie, but he definitely did. And
Yeah.
it felt like on the set, there's too many voices. It didn't sound like a very happy set. And there was multiple
Yeah.
people kind of weighing in. And then I think Ashby, everybody would always say like the editing was like he was just the master in the editing room. And that was probably where he had the biggest impact on it. But
Yeah.
it sounded like on the set. Have you ever had a situation like that where you're making a movie and somebody you're making the movie, you don't have to say who it was, but somebody that you're making the movie with had kind of too big of a voice?
or tried to have
Or
too big
tried
of
to
a
have
voice.
too big a
Yeah,
voice.
it's happened.
Yeah.
And you take a walk with the person and you talk to them about it, or you have a beer afterwards and talk to them and just be a player coach and just like give me your opinions. Let's talk about all of it. I'm a really collaborative person, but it doesn't have to spill into a public jousting.
Right. I
Which
can't
it
believe
rarely
Cruz did
does.
this. Like, what a dick.
You know what I can say? He actually was the furthest away from this because when
Yeah,
he
everyone
had
says that.
agreed to Jerry Maguire, well, actually, when we were talking about him for Jerry Maguire, like all my friends were whispering, like, "Oh, you the keys to the kingdom go to him immediately. You know that you'll barely get a parking space. This is like, it's gone. You don't have it anymore. Yeah, he'll be in your movie, but you can stay home." It's like these were the kind of raps that I got. But when Cruz read the script, he called and said, "I love this script. I really relate to this guy." He was in England doing Eyes Wide Shut, and he said, "How about if I fly out there and just read it for you guys, and you can tell me if you like it?" So I called all my friends back and said, "He wants to audition," and they're like, "Well, he's cool."
And he's like the most famous under 35 actor in the world at this point.
Yeah,
probably.
and he did
Yeah.
fly in, and he sat in a chair, and he read it out loud for us, and we were like, "Holy fuck!" I was playing "Magic Bus" by The Who, the song that opens the movie, and he's reading it, and it was just like the voice in my head when I wrote it, except better. And immediately, and maybe he just knew this, that giving you a taste of that, you were going to do everything you possibly could to keep him in the part and make the movie, and that's the movie, and then the business of it all happens, which is pretty easy. But he was not going to spackle himself into a project that he didn't feel was right for everybody involved. He's he's a guy who's at the top of the call sheet, who isn't the person that tries to influence everything.
Right.
He says, "I don't want to be a director, but I'll show up, on off days to do, off camera stuff where I'm not even on camera for Jay Moore or someone like that." And their minds are blown because he knows their lines and his lines too. That's who he is.
Oh, good.
I have a question about Jerry Maguire related to Shampoo. So one of the things that's really interesting about this movie is that it's a recent history movie. It's like it's set 7 years in the past, but it's essentially attempting to capture something that we understand. Jerry Maguire is like very similar. It's a present day movie. Something you were creating a world that had to be really close to our world for people to buy it, and that feels really hard to do. Like Shampoo does it really well. The Beverly Hills of 1968, which still kind of looks like the Beverly Hills of right now. It feels like a real place, shot on location. Like Jerry Maguire feels like it's happening in the world of sports and sports agencies. Like, how do you do that? How do you make something feel real?
I think like try and get the details right. Like do your best to have the little things at the corners of the scenes be accurate.
Well, you're like
it
a
doesn't
10
bleed
out
out.
of 10 maniac for that, though. I mean, you're
Thanks.
like all time. You would get every single detail possible.
That's why it takes so long to like put the movies together, because the research phase is so seductive. It's like, I could talk to one more person that could talk about
Can you go crazy
Yes,
doing that, though? Being
you
like,
can.
oh, the cocktail napkins aren't right.
Yeah.
In the hotel rooms in 1974, the cocktail napkins actually were red.
They actually made me feel that way when we were doing Almost Famous, because there were these crowd shots at the San Diego Sports Arena for Stillwater and stuff. And the audience, there was a bunch of the audience there, and we're going to be on camera. And a lot of them are doing this, like the devil horns. And that didn't exist in 1973. That was like Van Halen era. So I'm like, we got to shoot this again, guys. Like, let me talk to the crowd. I'm going, hey, guys, it's Cameron. I'm the director. Just want to let you know, like, this didn't happen in 1973. Now, meanwhile, the guys are standing around, like, whoever's there visiting from the studio and the people making the movie, they're doing this look.
Yeah. What a jerk.
Talking about fingers on the extras. No, and then they say that thing to you. This is the thing that they say, which is so not true. If they're paying attention to that, you're lost. But they are paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to that.
Yeah, they didn't know YouTube and the Rewatchables and all of our podcasts were coming.
Yeah. You lose me if you've got that going on.
They had no idea I would watch Almost Famous 350 times, but I will, and I would have noticed.
Just wait till we get to one of my nitpicks in Shampoo. It's going to blow your brain. Good. I have one nitpick where I'm like, I can't believe they did this. One thing on Beatty and Cruise that I was thinking as you were talking about that, it seems like the biggest stars, and I think Beatty, it's in the mid-70s, it's in the conversation for biggest star.
Yeah.
He's at least one of the people mentioned.
For sure.
But it seems like they had this force. All of them have a force of personality in different ways that the people talk about them, what it was like on the set or in the books that are written after. Cruise is always like, that dude's just fucking gung-ho. He's all in. He's ready to do anything it takes. And then you have some of the other people who are like, yeah, he's a method actor. Didn't really want to talk to anyone on the set. Like he would throw himself in the character, and the implication is, he seemed like kind of a dick. And then Beatty's like always involved in the movies he's making. So he's like a boss, but he's also an actor. I think that's like the hardest one to navigate.
It's got to be.
You're ordering people around, but you're also in the movie, but you're not the director.
But is he ordering them around like a Beatty character? Like,
right, totally.
I don't know. There's something
a lot of passive aggressive
off about this. The third act, man. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I got to reread Biskin and just get more of a taste of that.
It does seem like he seduces.
Yes,
with a lot of
it.
ease.
That's what they say.
That he draws people in and says, do this. Biskin writes a lot about how he would draw people in for not as much money as maybe they were worth to do things.
Right.
That he had an ability to convince people to Julie Christie and Goldie Hawn and all these people who were, if not already huge stars, rising stars, making a movie for this low budget that is like going to be a huge smash, and how much are they making on those movies? All that stuff is kind of interesting about his ability to do that. But also, he kind of loves the seduction. Like, he takes a long time to figure out what kind of movie he's going to make. And then Robert Towne says that once he starts, he's like a maniac.
Yeah.
Once he's working on the movie, he's obsessed. But he'll take years just developing and chewing over the idea that he comes up with.
Yeah. And they say that thing of like, when he looks at you, you're the only person in the world.
Yeah.
But I'm just remembering this now. I had the good fortune to write this book on Billy Wilder and spend this time around Billy, and Billy passed away. And one of the first people that said, let me be a part of this memorial, Warren Beatty.
Wow.
And he did show up. And he was not George from Shampoo. He was like, what can we do for Billy? So maybe that's a little bit of the guy who's decided on the movie, because he was straight ahead. I'll tell you another little story that I'm just remembering now, which is wild. When Almost Famous came out, we had a bad opening weekend. We actually got beaten by a reissue of The Exorcist. So a movie from 1973 slaughtered our movie about 1973, which was, brutal. And so I was getting like 75 phone calls a day, and everything was really exciting. Then the opening weekend comes out, things start to taper down. Then the LA Times did a story about the budget of Almost Famous. And it was a nasty little story about he spent so much money and he did a lot of takes.
I hate when they do that.
You were just talking about this.
We were just complaining about this recently. These assholes.
Check it out. No calls the day that article comes out. And we're all sitting around the office and we're like, oh shit, man, nobody came to see the movie. The LA Times is like kicking shit on us. This is really a drag, and the phone rings. It's like 9 p.m. and we're still there in the office because we're too despondent to leave.
Yeah.
It's Annette Bening. And she says, hi, it's Annette Bening. Is Cameron there? It's like, yeah. We're just here weeping. And she goes, I want to put Warren on.
Oh.
And Warren Beatty comes on the phone. He goes, look, I don't really know you. He goes, but I just want you to know you made a great movie. And there's no actor in town that wouldn't want to work with you. I just wanted to tell you that. And he hung up.
Wow. I'm going to just start cold calling people.
It's
On
a
their
move.
worst day.
Cold calling podcasts. People have failed. But hey, it's Bill. Keep plugging away. You're good.
Dig it. They'll
but that must have
always remember you.
That must have carried you for like a month after that.
It did. And you know what? When we won the Oscar for Best Screenplay,
Yeah.
I went to the Vanity Fair party. And as I was getting there, Beatty and Annette were leaving. And I saw Annette. I was like, hey, it's Cameron. Thank you for that call. And she's like, Warren, get back here. And he came back and he shook my hand like, see what I said? Came true. And
Wow.
walked away.
What a great story.
pretty good.
Look at what you jarred.
How did you not lead
here
with that?
This,
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's so weird because it was lodged in there, but we're so focused on Shampoo that I forgot my own kind of Beatty moment that happened, which was not like George.
Mm.
Well, and one of the few guys with the weight that, I mean, how many actors in the last 50 years, if you get that call, your entire year has changed. That's this person liked your movie.
And I don't say this to diminish him at all, but I do wonder if he is as understood as one of the key participants, creators of this period of American movies, because he didn't make as many movies.
Yeah.
And he hasn't made as many movies in the 21st century. And so obviously what we're doing here celebrates what he contributed. But he doesn't, when Redford passed.
He's like too short. I agree with you.
There's just like, it's kind of important to locate his legacy because he did more on individual movies than most of his contemporaries as well, as a producer, as a writer, eventually as a director. And as like a conceiver of the projects,
Yeah.
he didn't just wait for someone to call him to say, do you want to be in my movie? And he's distinct in that way, I think, from almost every single one of his contemporaries, right? I mean, I don't know who else really transitioned as clear. I mean, I guess you could say Woody Allen is in that conversation.
Doesn't seem like anyone turned him down. If he wanted you for the movie, you just did the movie.
Yeah.
Biskin had this interesting theory that I don't know if I agree with, but he thinks Beatty was George and Lester. And that was part of the reason he wanted to do the movie, because he fancied himself as the sharp businessman with the great house. By the way, he bought this awesome house apparently as he was making this movie, and this wheeler dealer, and but at the same time he was also George the hairdresser, just trying to get laid.
Wow.
I don't know if that's true, but it's an interesting theory.
By that, he certainly makes a mini hero out of Lester.
Yeah, Lester comes out.
You don't hate him at the end.
No, well, it's also Jack Warden.
It is Jack Warden, yeah.
Born free.
He also has this quote in the movie.
That's really funny.
As long as I can remember, when I see a pretty girl and I go after her and I make her, it's like I'm going to live forever. And that's where you're like, I don't know who's saying that. Are you the character or are you Warren Beatty? Could be either. All right, we'll take a quick break and then we got to talk about some of the other components of this movie. Julie Christie.
Mm-hmm.
They dated for a long time. They made 3 movies together, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, which Sean owns, and 5 different forms of physical media.
I do, yeah.
Did they have that in 8K UHD yet or no?
Just in 4K, but
just
yeah,
in 4K.
It's looking great.
Shampoo, Heaven Can Wait. They broke up in 1974. Famous relationship. There's all kinds of good stories. Supposedly they were on the outs because she made that Donald Sutherland movie where they may or may not have actually gotten it on in the scene.
Now. Yes.
Beatty lost his mind. Who knows what's true and not true 50 years later, but they had a very long storied relationship. And then she came back and worked with them again. There's nobody like her now. Who's her now? Nobody.
Not really.
She's such a perfect counterpoint to his energy too.
Yeah.
She's so frank, direct, strong. She does have a little like brittle vulnerability, but she is just the absolute awesome counterweight to him being like, oh, well, and just kind of looking off into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
They're great together.
Craig had some thoughts.
Just a magnificent woman, Julie Christie. Just an unbelievable cocktail of intellect and sex appeal. My God.
Yeah, and confidence and the accent. It's like, what was she missing? That first scene when she comes in and she's wearing like the long pants with she's just there's elegant, confident, just a star.
Of her time in Shampoo, dress-wise, hair-wise. Amazing and Darling, right?
Mm.
Darling is quite the character piece. Yeah, she's wonderful. They're wonderful together. Kind of heartbreaking in the best way.
Another one that turned down she turned down Reds,
Mm-hmm.
turned down The Verdict,
Wow.
which would have been
Oh wow.
a crazy
the
part for
Charlotte
her.
Rampling
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
Damn.
Charlotte's good.
It worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
It
okay.
worked out.
And then you have Goldie Hawn, who's not quite Goldie Hawn yet, but she's almost Goldie Hawn. It's in Sugarland Express, Shampoo, but it was like,
Yeah.
I don't feel until Foul Play, I don't feel like she could have
She had done
opened
like
a major movie by
Cactus
Yeah.
Flower and all. She had done
Yeah.
all those movies in the late
But we
60s,
didn't know if she
early
could
70s.
carry her
Laughing,
own-
obviously.
Yeah, but we didn't know if she could carry an NBA team to the third round of the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
And
You're saying that's
Foul-
what she does here?
No, Foul Play.
Oh, okay. Foul play.
Foul Play, it's like, yeah, I'm here, guys. And
Do you
she's another one that there's not a lot of parallels to her either.
Yeah. Do you think there was a big casting call thing for that part of Jill, or did he always know it was Goldie?
It seems from the research, he knew he wanted to make a movie with those two. I don't know what his history was with
Wow.
Goldie. I'm assuming they probably dated for a split second at some point. But
Yeah. It sounds like he sought her out.
Interesting.
wanted
yeah.
her for it.
Smart. Really good with casting.
And Jill and Jackie being friends is really interesting because Goldie and Julie Christie's dynamics are so different.
yeah,
But you buy it. You could see that they're running in the same kind of circles, right? That there's like strikingly beautiful women do travel in packs. So,
Right.
you buy it.
Julie Christie had this quote that she felt bad that Goldie Hawn's part wasn't better and that she wondered if they should have switched parts. I don't think that would have worked at all.
That was
No,
going to be
no.
literally my hot take.
You want to do that now?
Is there a world where they switch parts and the movie's better? It's the hot take. So we can
It's
explore
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's different.
It's a side of Goldie Hawn we probably never saw in a movie. Because I think that there's a way darker, Jackie's a way darker character.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you get Julie Christie's rage at the end. You get Julie Christie doing the third act in the Goldie Hawn part. That works.
Yeah.
She can
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Goldie being a little bit harder edged, a little bit more cynical, would have been an interesting
My
note
only
for her to
question
play.
is the persona Julio has had, I think she's just onto this guy immediately who he actually is. Whereas Goldie, you
Mhm,
could see her being like fooled
Right.
for half the movie because she's like so innocent and pretty and happy. And she's part of my hot take too later.
To hear Town talk about it, I think he feels that like Jill is the only one that has a future.
Hmm,
So
right.
does George actually get the money from Lester to do the salon, or is George just
This is my
dead at
number
that
one
point?
unanswerable question.
Is that just
this is the
is he just emotionally and spiritually dead and has given up, and he too is a sellout?
Well, so I was going to do this later in the research, but apparently there was an epilogue ending.
Oh wow.
Town had his version, Beatty had his version because they had these two. They're developing this for 7 years.
Sure.
They each had their own script. It was one of those things, and then they finally kind of merged the scripts. But they always want to have an epilogue set in 1975, and the point of the epilogue, I have it somewhere, was that everybody's life is still a mess, and
Right.
they couldn't figure out how to land the plane on it.
so funny. You don't need it.
And they just decided to dump it and end it with him on the little mini cliff, which is a way better ending.
Do-do-do.
Yeah.
But it works out perfectly because isn't it like 10 days after the film comes out that Nixon resigns? So
Yeah.
like they got the exact epilogue
They
they
got
needed
it.
in
They
real
got it.
life, in real time.
Ashby
Fascinating.
said, the upper class is full of shit, man. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They were all whores. Everybody was selling out all through that picture. That was his take on Shampoo. So I think they're making this in 74. That's the height of
Yeah.
everybody's just fed up. Watergate has already happened.
Yeah.
People are just pissed. All the assassinations that happened in the 60s, Watergate. Now people are like, all right, fuck this.
I do want to shout out Amy Scott's documentary Hal about Hal
Oh, yeah.
Ashby, which is an amazing
You gotta
portrait
watch
of
it.
him, and
Yeah.
that quote specifically, and him saying those words is in the movie about Shampoo. There's only a limited amount of time devoted to Shampoo in the movie, in part because it's not a paycheck job for Hal Ashby, but
Right.
it's like a for hire thing, which most of his other films are not really like that.
Yeah.
And his role on it is so interesting because all the other actors describe him as being extremely calm
Mhm.
while Robert Town and Beatty are fighting throughout the
Mhm.
production of the movie. But then, like you said before, he's like, it's all going to be in the edit. Like, we're good. Like basically everybody who's on set here is a genius and we're going to figure this out. Like I'm really not worried. And that turned out to be true. Like there's not a bad performance in this movie.
That documentary is great.
I gotta
And it
check it out.
convinced us to give Amy a Counting Crows doc for the music box series that we do that's going to be on HBO later this month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well
really
done.
good,
Well
though.
done.
Jack Warden,
Fascinating.
quickly.
Oh my God. Just a
From
powerhouse.
75 to 82. Shampoo, All the President's Men, Heaven Can Wait, The Champ, and Justice for All, Being There, Used Cars, and The Verdict. Just ripping them off.
Pretty good.
Heaters. Heaters across the board. Did Lester have to be a little bit more evil, or was this the right casting?
I think it's right. I think it's so right. When he doesn't beat up Beatty and when he has that scene at the end, it's just
Like he's
I
listening
think
to
it's
him. It's like,
fucking glorious.
This guy.
yeah, yeah.
It's like the Robert Loggia part. There's like the Jack Warden, Robert Loggia, this type of part, the older guy. You can still see them maybe getting a little horny.
Yeah.
You can see them running a company. There's a dark side of them, but not really. I don't know who's that actor now.
Oh gosh.
I don't think that actor exists now.
Oh man.
Like Jack Warden?
Like the Jack
The
Warden, Robert
Loggia.
Loggia part.
The Loggia.
The guy who would have been in Big, the guy who would have been Lester in this movie. It's a hard one.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe it just has gone away.
I mean, John Goodman, someone like that. Like that, it's someone you don't see very often.
Oh, John Goodman coming in on Flight.
Well, he just
Banana boat coming.
But Jack Warden is one of those people who he just improves everything he's in. Every time he's in a movie,
Yeah.
even if the movie's not totally working, you are having fun watching him cook. And I think we talked about that in The Verdict, where he brings a completely different energy to Newman. And he comes into every movie and he's just like, what is this bullshit? Like that's kind of the attitude of every character that he plays. And he's perfect because he's not a mustache twirling villain. He's a selfish rich guy, but he's not like, I'm going to destroy these kids. He's like, I'm losing my youth. And I kind of got to get my youth back.
Yeah.
How am I going to do it?
It's so great when Beatty is like, maybe there's something we can do with your hair. I don't know. Layer it and get a little, puff it out a little bit, Lester. It's just like amazing. It's amazing. I just want to come up with who's the modern day Loggia Warden.
We'll figure it out like 4 days from now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Warden
Regroup.
performance? Just out of curiosity.
By far this, because
Okay.
I can't get him coming up the walkway doing Born Free out of my mind. Like since I saw it, since I was 18, I just want to sing it like that all the time. Born Free.
And then you mentioned the Hal Ashby movies that led to this, but then afterwards he also had Coming Home and Being There in back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Coming Home's a fascinating movie. It's a Tubi classic. It's been on Tubi for like 3 years straight.
I love that movie.
Did very well at the Oscars.
It did.
Very, very important movie for a lot of people, but there's a feel to it that out of all the Vietnam movies, it's the most
It's different.
kind of interesting constructed Vietnam movie.
It is interesting. It's different. I look at the Harold and Maude Last Detail Shampoo run like as its own little pod.
Right.
I can't even tell you why, because I know Ashby continues, but those three movies feel like of a piece. And I think my hot take-ish thing is that of those three movies, Shampoo probably has the most bumps in it, like that make it a little dated, like the gay stuff. And it's just, there's little things where you go, oh, and over time, I think less so Harold and Maude and Last Detail.
Yeah.
So though the layered and the texture and the depth that allows us to talk like this about Shampoo makes it completely memorable and important, there's something about the flow of the other two that's a different kind of elixir that might make them more seamless. That's just my thought. I don't know how recently you guys have seen the other two movies.
Last Detail is my favorite of the three.
It's spectacular.
Incredible movie.
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie too, because I think without that movie, this movie doesn't happen, or at least not in this way, because Beatty and Nicholson are close friends, and Ashby kind of enters Nicholson's orbit after Last Detail. And so he starts coming up to the house and they're up on Mulholland Drive, and they're going to Lakers games.
He takes his girlfriend.
That happens.
It happened.
70s. Really something.
But he finds somebody who, like, he knows Hal Ashby can hang in this environment with big personalities, with complicated subject matter. Like Last Detail also famously like one of the kind of like the roughest language movies of the time. And then Shampoo pushes it even further.
Definitely.
Some stuff that I'm sure we'll get into about what Julie Christie says in this movie, you
Yeah.
know, which in the movies
Crazy.
you didn't hear very often.
And Jack.
By
Yeah.
all accounts, Hal was smoking pot morning, afternoon, and night.
Yes.
This is what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was the word in the street.
Whatever
With
gets
Hal.
you through the night.
Robert Town, Chinatown, Shampoo, Last Detail, all in a 3-year run.
Did you go through the uncredited thing in the 70s?
I mean, the uncredited, it's basically him and Goldman were attached to 78% of all movies made that succeeded.
The uncredited list is super wild for him.
And you don't even know what's true and not true at this
No.
point.
Yeah.
It just seems like everybody brought him on and just wrote him a check and he just made money. Then he has like this weird 80s that include Personal Best, which is a fascinating movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which he wrote and directed. Tequila Sunrise, where he earnestly tried to get Pat Riley to play the Kurt Russell part, which
I
is like one of my
heard that.
favorite weird movie things. Like, genuinely wrote the part for Pat Riley, tried to convince him to do it. And
Did you ever talk to Riley about that?
I don't know if anyone's ever, Riley's never come on my podcast because he can go fuck themselves. But no, I've never had him on. No, I don't like the heat.
Let's bring him out, Pat Riley.
Here he
ladies and
is,
gentlemen.
right? Tequila Sunrise, then Days of Thunder he wrote, and then he goes into the 90s where he's just writing like The Firm, Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But he did
yeah.
Without Limits, which I think is one of the best sports movies of the last 30 years.
Mm.
But he had this 3-decade run, and each
Yeah.
decade was a little different.
I think like Beatty, he was kind of in so many different places and like, you know, knowing everybody. I mean, he was mixing, what was the movie after Tequila Sunrise that he did?
I can get it, but it was. I mean, Days of Thunder was within 2 years of that.
Maybe it was, I think it was after Tequila Sunrise. He was mixing in the next studio, and I think we were doing Elizabethtown.
Oh,
And he was completely great. Wanted to see a reel of our movie, and then showed me a reel of what he was working on. And it was I think he had one note that was kind of great, but it was that feeling, that Beatty-like thing that we're talking about of like, I'm an amoeba I'm kind of present in a lot of stuff all over town, and I have an effect on the movies that are being made, and I dig it.
The
you
two
know?
Jakes? Is that what it was?
The two Jakes. So he's also kind of avuncular in his own way. I just thought he was very welcoming to a younger guy making his movie in the
so you're
next
probably
run.
making singles at that point.
This was after Singles.
Yeah.
This was
When was the
Elizabethtown.
two Jakes?
That was 90.
Oh, so maybe this is
It was probably one.
it
of
was
his other
one of the ones after. I remember it's something that he had been tinkering on a lot. So he didn't have quite a lock on what he was doing, but was very charming about talking
Maybe
about
he
it.
was doing Ask the Dust when you were doing Elizabethtown.
No, I'll figure this out
Okay.
along with the new Loggia.
Okay.
new Loja.
New
coming up
Loggia.
next.
New Loggia is a good category.
Are you one of those people that can work on 4 movies at once? I'm gonna say no.
I can not finish 4 movies at
Yeah,
once,
yeah.
no problem.
You're an all in on a project guy.
Yeah. Usually, for sure.
I think Town just had that. My perception of it was that he had that shaman quality where people would call him and be like, "Can you help me fix this?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
You know?
And they have an answer.
Yeah.
Well, he had like a very intense relationship with Warren Beatty, and
Yeah, it's like
they
me and
took this
CR.
forever. At some point, yeah, it was like you and CR. At some point, he started to have the same kind of hair that Warren had. All this shit, like he was like looking like he was almost doing an impression.
You don't want to compete with that. That's tough.
Same type of like trying to get the ladies, but then I guess his big contribution to this scene, they had this huge, or to the movie, other than all the other stuff he did, but they had this huge argument about the key scene when he confesses to Goldie Hawn's character that he was actually having sex with everybody. And the big argument was whether he should be standing or sitting. And Town was like, you have to be sitting. You're bigger than her. It's threatening. She has to be in control. You have to be sitting down because she needs to be in control of the scene. And Beatty didn't want to do that. And they fought about it, and then
Really?
got him to sit down. And that's why the scene works. Because she's like
It's a great
this.
choice.
And it's better. It wouldn't have worked if he's standing and towering over her. Thought that was interesting.
I think he's right. I mean, don't you think? Like, if you imagine that scene with him standing, it is way different.
Yeah.
And then there was a whole thing like Beatty it's a co-screenwriting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big, there's a lot of stuff written about this, about Town was pissed about it, but he wouldn't say anything. And then David Geffen was finally like, Town's pissed about this. And then Beatty got mad at Town. And Town's like, I'm not pissed. And all the Hollywood shit that we like in these books.
A lot of lore in this.
Yeah, a
one.
lot of lore.
Much lore.
3 Oscar nominations in a row for Robert Town, by the way, year after year. banging them out. $4 million budget, made $60 million. Third biggest movie in 1975.
Damn.
Lee Grant, who we didn't mention, got nominated for an Oscar.
Wow. I would say rightly so.
Ebert.
She won, didn't she?
Did she win?
She won, yeah.
She won the Oscar.
Yeah.
I probably should have had that in my notes. That seems
she
more
won.
important than getting
she
nominated.
Won. Her speech is really interesting because she, was
Sean
like,
has the speech. Come
Yeah.
on. This is
well, I watched the speech last night. She said something interesting about Ashby, which was just that all the actors, she thanked Town and Beatty and was like, they are the shepherds and architects of this movie. She was like, Ashby was the
Interesting.
one who basically let us feel like we could fail, like we could take chances, like we could do things, and it was going to be okay. And she's the last person that he thanks, which I thought was interesting because of this,
Wow.
Bermuda Triangle of creativity that this movie is operating inside of.
The screenplay got nominated. We also had Jack Warden getting nominated.
Love
The
that.
movie did not get nominated. You know why?
Tell me.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Barry Lyndon, Dog Day Afternoon, Jaws, and Nashville.
Holy shit.
Good luck. Good luck cracking
Number
that crew.
6, baby.
We do this on
Do it,
every
Sean.
episode. We talk
We
about.
used to know how to make movies.
I was just gonna say, is that the best line, the best picture lineup of all time? That
'Cause
is,
there's
we
other
have
movies.
asked
There.
that question before.
Up there.
Well, especially when you think of the directors that are involved. I mean, holy mackerel. It's pretty great. It's got to be in the top 3 best 5 because
So-
there's no weak link at all.
It's the one I always circle back to.
Are they spurring each other on? Is my question. Like,
Mm.
are these filmmakers just like tweaking each other's to go further?
What do you think?
I think yes. I think it equates to music too, and eras of music where there's people that remind you of a certain kind of greatness that makes you summon your own greatness is like super powerful and fun. It's fun when you have something to compete against, obviously. And I think there was, I don't know, Billy Wilder talked about a greater camaraderie in that time, and that he felt that it kind of splintered away in the time before he died. That there was less like elbow jabbing with a smile and a smirk, that made it more fun to like go up against your peers.
It's hard to explain the movies and music scene in that decade where it's a combination of things evolving. People just some of the best people we've ever had just all in one place together. And then like the kind of new shit being created that nobody had heard before. I just don't know if we'll ever see that again.
And in that time, like not all of them knew how to use music or knew modern music, and not all of them knew the new like popular music or how to use it. Nichols did, obviously, and Ashby to the max. But a lot of them just wanted to lean on score and all that stuff and like grandiose kind of music. So it really stuck out when somebody was able to like land a needle drop where you just went, fuck. That's the marriage where everybody is just high watching it.
We always talk about with writers, if you cover the byline and you know who the writer is, that usually means they're a good writer. Like, oh, I know who that is. And there were so many directors in that decade where you could have been like, oh, that feels like a blank movie. And I wonder like if we still have that in the same way with as many directors now. I mean, we make more movies now.
Yeah.
It's really hard to compare to this year,
Yeah.
this time, this 6 or 7 year period of films is in America alone is I'm just completely shaped my taste and what I'm interested in and what I like from movies.
But movies are back. I don't know if you noticed.
I think
It's
so.
a good movie year this year.
A lot of stuff I've liked.
Sean's been-
I hope movies are going to be
Sean's
okay.
nipples have been hard for all of 2025. He's been delighted. Our guy Roger Ebert, disappointing one for him. We do
Really?
Rewatchables. We always do the Roger Ebert review. 2.5 stars.
Shocking.
Ooh, tell me about that.
Shampoo is a movie I expected to admire enormously. It was made by some of Hollywood's most gifted talents, and the critical praise from New York has been almost deafening. But the movie didn't quite work for me. Its timing wasn't confident enough to pull off its ambitious conception. And he was basically like, this movie's trying to do a whole bunch of stuff it didn't totally pull off. But sometimes I do think it's a movie you need to watch a couple times.
For sure.
There's a lot going on.
For sure.
It's not one of those you're going to solve it right away.
I did think he had a really good insight in his review, though. He wrote, the sexual gymnastics aren't the movie's point, however, and the sex scenes are never developed in an erotic manner. They're directed by Ashby more as symptoms of George's dilemma, which is that he likes being loving and kind. He listens to his clients and sometimes even really does care about their problems. But in some final way, he's too blocked to develop a relationship to really give himself, which I think is a really smart reading of that character and maybe even of Beatty more broadly. Like it's weird that he doesn't like the movie. It's so in his wheelhouse.
I bet he upgraded it when he did his thousands. All right.
He upgrades.
We're going to do most rewatchable scene, but before we do that, we have to talk about what you brought us for the set.
Well, I wanted to bring a little something for this hallowed room. And I just figured we'd go with one of the hidden heroes of Jerry Maguire, Cush, Jerry O'Connell as Cush. And there are 3 of these, I must say. One is in the hands of Jerry O'Connell, and one I have, and now one belongs to
what an honor.
Wow.
One of the great honors in Rewatchables history.
Cush's big promo posters. And,
was this before Kushlash? Kushlash?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And I must say, Jerry
By the way, he
O'Connell,
looks great in that. He
He's
looks like
definitely selling
like
it.
the Jets are going to draft him first.
God willing, if only we could have drafted Cush.
he sees the future in his eyes. You can see that right there. It's all ahead of him, and he knows it.
He's going through his progressions.
Slight paisley backing. I thought you might enjoy. Hint of the undershirt. Just nice texture.
So
Talking
this was
about
in
details.
this was in his hotel room? When where was this in the actual movie?
I think this is possibly.
I'm going to say it's in the hotel room with his dad when Jerry goes and they have like all that paraphernalia
It
in the
is
room.
in the Beau Bridges hotel
You did surprise
room.
me with this. I'm going blind.
It's
But
so
there you go.
crazy though what a perfect match it is with the rest of the decor. Like
Yeah.
it does feel as though you found it on eBay and it is a real quarterback that you watched in 1979.
I'm going to find the perfect spot for it. Right now we want to display it there. I don't want to, like Michael Myers was there. I don't want to,
No.
I can't long term. I don't want to piss off Myers.
Yeah, I got you.
Because he's a serial killer.
I do, yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
a place.
No, it's going to find a place. It'll be.
It will gravitate to
I
that
already
special
know.
place.
Honestly, the 77 Red Sox might be in trouble over in the corner.
Interesting.
There. But we'll figure out the
Kushlash.
perfect one. So thank you for
Kushlash.
that. I always love when people bring
My
gifts.
pleasure.
Most
Thank you.
rewatchable scene. I'm going to give you a couple choices. George goes to visit Jill after he had sex with Felicia, and she realizes, this is the Goldie Hawn character, realizes that they're not going to have sex. And it's just kind of a funny, I'm going to go make some food. And she's like, wait, what happened? I thought, and then, so the light bulb's going on. Like, I wonder if he just had sex, but I just like how they handle that.
It's great.
George, it's short, but George flipping out after he can't get a loan when he dumps garbage anywhere. It's just a great Warren Beatty being a star scene. I like when he throws a jacket in, then it's like, oh, wait, I need that jacket. No, fuck this jacket. That chaotic hair salon scene when everybody's coming in and out. It's like a Three's Company episode. Beatty and Christie in the parking lot. Hey, I don't fuck anyone for money. I do it for fun. It's like, oh.
Brutal.
George doing Jackie's hair in the bathroom, which you mentioned.
Big scene.
The Carrie Fisher scene.
Big scene.
The party with the 2 Felicia-Jackie interactions, but specifically the stare down the second time. They're just fucking locked like UFC fighters it's like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
The gaze never changes. Jack Warden moving through the groovy party like an alien. We talked about that. George confessing his love with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds playing, kicks in. And then they get found, but I'm going to give this the Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness award for best needle drop. It's going down low and then it kicks up. Which I know you're one of the masters of.
I'm with you. Thank you.
George admitting to Jill that he slept with a lot of girls. Let's face it, I fucked them all. And then George makes peace with Lester.
Also a good scene.
And Jackie dumps George on the mini cliff. Unless there are any other scenes you want to mention. I think those are the nominees.
I just want to, the first scene of introducing the movie
in the
with
dark.
Wouldn't it be nice in the darkness?
Yeah. Oh wow!
During the sex scene,
call,
which is
Sean.
like such a disorienting way to open a movie. You can't really figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
you know that they're having sex. You can't really see Lee Grant at all, even when he gets
Especially
up.
when I'm 13, I'm like, is there a boob? Can
Yeah,
I?
exactly.
No, it's nothing.
Yes, my first viewing,
Can't-
I was totally there.
Yeah,
I can't
it reels you
say
in. Yeah, but like that, like leaning forward thing that you're doing when you're watching the movie is a great way to get you interested in what's going on with this guy.
That scene gets done a million times later, and you find out that they're actually just like moving a piece of furniture or something. Going, and you're like, oh, they weren't really having sex. That movie is like They're having sex.
Yeah.
It's actually happening.
So what's your most rewatchable scene?
Man, as you watch it, I just, as you go through it, I just kind of start thinking, what about my choice? But my choice really is the stare down bistro scene. Because I just think I was tempted to go with the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, like that whole party. I love, and that really destroyed me when I was a little guy first seeing it. But the orchestration of all the relationships in the bistro scene, Nixon getting reelected, the big wall-sized picture of Nixon, Jackie getting drunk, and Beatty with my favorite reading in the movie where he's like, she's going on, and he's like, "You're drunk." It's just fantastic. In any other movie, it's like, "You're drunk.
Right.
Don't you realize what you're doing?" He's like, "You're drunk."
Right.
It's just brilliant. And I think without that scene where you're drawn into the interlocking relationships and you're feeling Jack Warden's pain and all that stuff, the movie isn't as seductively layered without it. So kind of structurally, I go with that.
What do you got, Sean?
I love the scene near the very end when Lester and George are.
That was my scene. That was my pick.
I just think the
Women
whole
only
movie
talk about one thing: how some guy fucked them over. It's like this is fucking great stuff.
Yeah, their instant camaraderie and just being assholes is very amusing, and it's the whole idea of the movie is in there too, which is sort of like, of course, this rich guy is like, yeah, they're all bad. I don't care. I'm just trying to get through my day. Like to pack all that into that little moment, and to just show that like. Through these guys' eyes, the women are secondary. You know what I mean? They're props. They're like a means to an end of trying to get off.
He calls her a whore. He calls Julie Christ's character
fucking
kind of really reveals, I think, what they really think about these guys. But also, that it's true and it feels sincere, but also they're critical. Like it's a really fascinating blend.
It's fascinating, and also Lester, not once but twice, has a problem with the housekeeping.
It's just like, how do you live like this?
About the glasses.
It's not a dirty, not a clean glass in the house.
Clean this fucking glass and like pour you a drink that only I am gonna drink. It's just crazy.
I think Warden's so good in that scene. He comes in a little menacing,
so good,
and then whatever George says about like your wife, all she wants to do is shop all day. Her daughter hates her, and he's like,
"Oh, that's
daughter hates her.
Hates her. Yeah.
What do you mean hates her? Like he's just his whole body like jolts.
I know. No, it's like
it's a great scene.
It's
There's a great back
call.
and forth in that scene where Jack Warden calls Jackie a whore, and then Beatty goes, "No, I think she really likes you." And he goes, "Really?
Yeah, really? Yeah, she likes you." Well, that helps when she
that scene is
goes
awesome.
off with Lester.
I mean, that's such a well-written
awesome.
scene too.
I know.
And then you need like the perfect actors.
He's been there all night. That's like the awesome thing at the top. Like, I've been here all night. Doing what? You certainly didn't do the housework. This is like you fucking like sat there steaming about the glasses being dirty.
They're
What?
just brilliant together.
All right, next category. What's the most 1975 thing about this movie? A little tough because it's set in 1968.
Interesting.
I'll give you a couple nominees though. Warren Beatty's hair.
Mm-hmm.
Using the word groovy.
Yep.
Every time you're groovy, it's like that's a word that is gone. Jack, I mean, there's some unfortunate gay bashing in this movie, but he uses the word fairy, which I haven't heard in 25 years.
I know.
I have LA just seems so sprawling and traffic free and happy to navigate. And it's just not like it is now.
Yeah.
Even when they show the shots of the hill on Sunset, like the houses aren't crammed together. It just seems
true.
Like this happy mid-70s place. The 7 years after Nixon got elected subtext is good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with my winner is riding a motorcycle without a helmet.
Oh,
just fucking hopping on the Triumph and moving around. It's just noticeable when you watch it.
Call. It's like mostly it's just not a real action scene.
It's a happier time.
I'll be coming back to the Triumph in a later category.
What do you have for this? Anything else?
I mean, even just purely the style of every character, the haircuts that he's giving to match Felicia and Jackie is like such a chill. It is like more 68 than 75.
Maybe that should have been the category. What's the most 1968 thing about this movie?
Yeah.
It's the music and What do you have, Cameron?
I would go for the extras and the people populating the party, the big sprawling party.
Those people do not exist anymore.
They don't exist anymore. But also, like, why are they there?
Yeah.
Whose house is that? Which goes to another category, unanswered questions. Like, whose house is that? Is it Lester's house? It looks like Lester's house.
Also, it's election night. So is every election night a Tuesday?
And are people partying on election night? I guess in 1968, maybe
But
they
like
were.
these are supposed to be the counterculture crowd. Like, how do they end up in this house?
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's a shack in Laurel Canyon. This is like
An estate.
I don't know who they are, but they aren't really convincing, particularly the guy that offers Jack Warden the joint. He just kind of like it's just hair, really. He doesn't really have anything to do. And there's a lot of like scarfed headed women and stuff. And you just like it's a little caught in a time warp.
You know who dipped into this? Mad Men. When they would have Don Draper go to
Goes to
LA
LA.
for those seasons, and it was like same kind of thing. Like, what is this world? Who
Yeah.
are these people?
The
How did they
hippie
get in
people.
this house?
Can I say one thing about
Go.
that? For so many movies that like try and do the era and like work real hard to get the extras all dressed up properly and stuff, all they have to do is watch the movie Monterey Pop. Monterey Pop has the best photography of the people in the audience. And that's what you should go to do your research on that. Because like people in that era, and I guess that's 68.
I think
Yeah.
it is 68.
Okay, so
yeah.
Monterey Pop is 68. So that's the era. There's people in the 50s. There's people who look like they could be there now. It's just like the stew of what people in that era really looked like is there in the crowd shots of Monterey Pop. And sadly, that's not Shampoo, which is good on so many other details. They just kind of fumble on that. And it is 1975, 68, or whatever we're looking for.
It's
Yeah,
funny
it's a
you
good
say
point.
that. I was trying to think of other 68 movies that would be representative of this too. And I feel like isn't Medium Cool also 68? The
Medium
Haskell
Cool.
Mexican
Yeah.
movie, which is also like it's a lot of real people in that movie, even though it's not a documentary. And it's the same thing. Like you can see exactly how everyone was styled.
Yeah.
This movie is like some of it is accurate and some of it appears to be like satirizing or riffing loosely on what it remembers 7 years ago to be.
The Beverly Hills stuff is pretty accurate. It feels pretty accurate. Of course, they're all in tuxes and stuff.
Craig, would you rather go to a party in 1968 or now?
1968.
Okay.
I mean,
It just seemed like a great time.
I'll just do it now. The flex category, you guys touched on this. Mine is the Den of Thieves Benihana Award for a scene-stealing location. It's just unrecognizable LA of 1968 versus now. It's just completely different. It feels so small, relaxed,
Yeah.
approachable.
The height of every building seems lower.
Yeah, the winding roads of the Hollywood Hills, every single part of it is so appealing and attractive, and you completely understand why you would fall in love. I fall in love with it again just watching it, convincing myself that like right now is somewhat still what it was in 68, which it's clearly not, but it's magical.
There is a way though in which it has aged the best in terms of LA too, because this is sort of what it's like to live in LA, where like everybody lives in their house and they don't really leave their house, and the houses are kind of dark and the curtains are closed and they're skulking around. And even though you think of this as like this sunny paradise, that a lot of people, especially people with a lot of privilege, are just like, I don't really want to leave. Like, I'm just like, I'm doing my thing in my own house. Like, I don't want to go out tonight, you know?
Right.
Like, there is still that quality of every time they're in one of these houses, they're not bustling. The only time we see that is at these two parties.
It's also funny to have a bunch of counterculture people at this mansion, which is also very LA.
That's what I was saying.
They're
Like,
committing to that, but they also have one rich friend that they're okay using their dad's house.
Yeah.
They're okay with that.
The LA in this movie is the LA that as a kid, when I watched all the TV shows, and I was like, man, it just seems great there. When they did like Battle of the Network Stars in Malibu, I'm like, what's that? Where's that's on a cliff with an ocean? Like, what the hell is going on? Or Charlie's Angels, they'd be in the Hollywood Hills. I'm like, oh, that looks awesome.
The only thing though is like it is smoggy, cloudy LA. It's not always sunny.
True.
You know, like especially the last shot when he's looking out.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not the beach, you know?
Right.
That's not rosy. That's doom.
Even
Where
both
is
of the
that?
offices, the views from the offices, the movie producer's office, Lester's office are gorgeous. The
Yeah.
views, the balcony at,
Yeah.
is it Jill's house? I mean,
Yeah.
Mark, unbelievable.
One more break, and then we're going to What's Age the Best. All right, before we do What's Age the Best, special category, the Steven Seagal shitting on himself award for most unbelievable anecdote from the actual film shoot.
We're
Lee
here
Grant.
with legendary filmmaker Cameron Crowe.
And
you're
this is
doing
where
this
he's
award.
like, this is like, why am I here? Lee Grant walked off the film for 2 days during the scene when her character comes in after it seems like her daughter might have had sex with Warren Beatty, and they argued about what her motivations would be, and she kept playing it the same way, and he kept telling her to play it differently, and she got fed up and she left. And was gone for 2 days, and she came back, and Warren said, basically my bad. He's like, what do I know? I'm only a guy. And that was it.
Wow.
What would be do you have a Steven Seagal shitting on himself award from any of your movies? Just out of curiosity. Do you know this story?
Tell me the story.
It's some Seagal movie. What was it, like Above the Law? One of those?
Hard to Kill, maybe?
There was some stunt guy in the set, and the guy said he could choke anyone out. And Seagal's like, there's no way you could choke me out. And the guy's like, oh, yeah? And he was like, all right. And it became this thing. And the guy chokes Seagal out, and he shits all over himself. This is urban legend. Might not have happened, may have happened, but it had to become a category in the Rewatchables.
I love
He
it.
got choked out and may have shit on himself. Steven Seagal. So anyway, I don't know if you have anything that good.
Let me think about that.
Think about that.
That's a high bar.
Think
or a
about
low
2025 Logia.
I'll yeah.
And just file that away for the end.
Okay.
So many
All right.
unanswered questions.
We'll get back to that.
Sean, what do you have for What Stage the Best?
I love a Hollywood LA movie that is full of all these smart self-referential choices. Like we did The Player on this show. Like we've done a handful of movies. And so casting Carrie Fisher, who's Debbie Reynolds' daughter, and the way that the movie uses her as this kind of vessel for a new generation of sexual frankness. And Debbie Reynolds, of course, this representation of kind of like a pert and prim version of Hollywood history is super smart. There's like a series of versions like this, like even just the idea of making a movie about a hairdresser and what the role of the hairdresser as a significant participant in not just making Hollywood movies, but Jay Sebring, who was tragically killed, John Peters, who became, a power player in the space.
Seems like those were the two people that kind of drove this.
And then there was a third one whose name escapes me, but that I think Robert Towne talked about somebody that he had met whose ex had cut hair and was also an inspiration for this. And that I don't think we see hairdressers in quite the same way culturally now.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating because that is a really intimate act. To be with someone by yourself, touching them, cutting their hair, developing that physical relationship with them, and then the movie using that and that being such a significant part of, presentation in Hollywood and the way that you look is so paramount to what you're doing. I just love all that in this.
Peters he had some big celebrity girlfriends and then eventually just became a producer. Yeah. But it was all because he was around these women all day who were attached to powerful people.
I was kind of surprised in the movie when, because George seems to understand people's intimate feelings and stuff, and how when he's got his hands in their hair, they start talking about it. And it feels like he listens, and he knows the power of that. But then he kind of sells himself out at the end, saying like, "Yeah, they all fucking talk about the same thing. Some guy fucked them over." And I'm like, George, come on, you felt more than that.
Do you think he's performing for Lester too, though? The way that he shape shifts for people too, like that's a very LA sycophantic thing where you like blend into the moment so that you're not making too many waves. Like you got to be like Lester in this moment, but when you're cutting a woman's hair, you got to be sympathetic to her experience. Like that reveals a little bit of like the phoniness that is at the heart of the movie too. I don't know. It's really like to me, it feels very much like LA, where like I am sincere every day, and I also feel full of shit. And that's a really hard way to be. But I do think the movie really taps into that well.
I totally agree. Plus, remember he puts that scene in where he's like got this woman's hair like right.
Oh, yeah, it almost looks like a blowjob for a second.
Yeah. He's just like shaking her around and then like whipping her back up. And it's like, and then he wants to like give her away in the next scene, like,
That would have been a good hottest take as hairdressers were the original podcasters. Just doing a podcast all day with 10 guests.
That is a hot take.
Yeah.
Just
and
like,
getting people to reveal their
o'clock.
secrets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they have to remember stuff about every person they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're bringing up conversation. They're finding out stuff. They probably have more information than
when you're getting
anybody.
your haircut, are you telling the truth about your life?
Yeah, I was. Because my person is the same person my mom goes to. Don't ask. So we spend half the time talking about my mom and how crazy my mom is, and it's just like she really knows about my life.
That's how you communicate.
Do you have a What Stage the Best?
I do.
What
I
is
do. It's the cinematography of Laszlo Kovacs. I think who I was lucky enough to work with on Say Anything. He's the guy that shot Say Anything. So don't think I wasn't aware that I was with the guy that did Shampoo. And
Another movie with a party scene.
Exactly. And that was on our minds too.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Laszlo was amazing for a first-time director. So helpful and so soulful. Had a great crew. Really cared about all the textures. And the thing I want to shout out about this movie that I've always tried to learn from, and this is from Beatty, I think, because he does this in Bonnie and Clyde too. He knows what a screen kiss can do. It's better than sex in a movie if you get that kiss right. Because and here's Beatty's secret, and I learned this from watching his stuff, which is he gives you the moment before the kiss, the desire before the kiss, which I definitely went for in Jerry Maguire. It's the decision to make the kiss. The moment before they come in is where it's all decided, because you know, in fact, when the kiss happens, everything's going to change. Beatty does not deny you that moment. He does it especially great in Bonnie and Clyde, and he does it great in this movie with Laszlo. Every kiss matters, and it's beautifully shot, and it's very packed with emotion, and the kisses in this movie, Shampoo, are great.
It's such a good point, because they're in the bathroom, he's doing her hair, and she's just staring at him with those big fuck me eyes. And then he's kind of doing her hair, but then every once in a while it's like, oh, something's going on. And you could just see it, and they're doing it for almost like 45 seconds, and you know it's going to happen. It's a really hard thing to pull off in a movie.
It's a hard thing. In Jerry Maguire, we really milked it, because he's with Renee in the doorway.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, there's all kinds of longing going on, and then he breaks the strap and all this stuff, and it's just like, we just wanted to live in that moment. And I think we have some Paul McCartney music that's kind of like doo-doo-doo in that actual moment. But no, I thought like that's a thing that like is a little shining star that happens a couple of times in Shampoo. It's the kisses.
I had a couple would say the best. The Warren Beatty combo. Just like I just love those two guys together. Lester's house. I'm just gonna give the Amanda Dobbins Award for best piece of real estate. Just a really great house. There's like a tennis court.
Unbelievable.
Upstate, like things. I wanted to see like a whole Google Earth shot of how that house was laid out.
Where is that
I don't even know where it is.
We have to know where the house is.
Beverly Hills, maybe
Hills,
somewhere in there. Young Carrie Fisher is just hilarious to just see her 3 years before she's about to become one of the most famous, or 2 years before she's about to become one of the most famous actors in the world.
It's her first part.
Yeah.
She eats Beatty alive in that scene.
Yep.
I think like there is such boldness, and she just does not care.
Well, we could say it now. She gets the Dion Waiters Award for best seat check. It's just not. That's done.
Yeah.
This movie made me wonder, like, did the Star Wars thing? I wish there was an alternate version of her career where there's no Star Wars, and she's just in.
She has more like a Diane Keaton kind
making
of
all these
roles.
movies for
Big
15
time.
years, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great.
Because like when Harry Met Sally, and she's the friend, the sarcastic, kind of insecure friend, and she's just really good at it. It's like, weren't there 6 more of these for you? But I guess Star Wars just eats you up when you're in that franchise.
Jerry Maguire trivia. The line, you're not show friends, you're show people. No, what is it? They're not. What is it? You're not. It's not show friends. It's show business.
Yeah.
I heard that from someone, and I put it in the movie, and they came to me later and said, I actually stole that from Carrie Fisher. That's Carrie Fisher's line.
Oh, wow.
So thank you, Carrie Fisher. Thank you.
I have for what's age the best, having a late 60s Gumar. I just put that in for Sean.
Thank you.
We always have
Appreciate
Gumar
that.
jokes.
Yeah.
Dating back to The Godfather.
It
was the head of the Gumar era.
I don't know that Lester Karpf would have used the word Gumar to describe
it's more
Jackie.
Goodfellas
That's
era.
really more.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe the 90s.
You need to be like Ileana Douglas to be identified as that, right? There's a different.
And then the soundtrack, which features 2 Beatles songs.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's
probably
crazy.
not getting those 10 years later.
No, but plus Manic Depression by Hendrix.
Crazy.
Plus Mr. Soul.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Mr. Soul is my favorite.
2
When Mr.
Jefferson
Soul
Airplane
cooks in.
songs.
2 Jefferson.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Opening and closing.
We're up with the Sean Fennessey Award for stealth homage that gives every movie nerd a criteria orgasm. It's another category, Cameron.
There's not a lot in here. So
Okay.
I went with film director William Castle.
Yeah.
World renowned for his work making experiential movie-going experiences for scary movies in the 50s and 60s. He shows up in the movie as Sid Roth, who's the guy who propositions
Right.
Jackie at the 1968 Republican Party.
Oh.
And he is a legendary showman in movie history who is there's a Joe Dante movie called Matinee that is loosely based on him and the movies that he made. And yeah, that's an interesting choice for a guy like that who's always trying to sell you on something.
Yeah.
To be the guy at that party.
Interesting. We have a Great Shot Gordo Award for most cinematic shot. I personally would go for the high shot when they end up on the cliff and they have the high shot to begin with and you can see all of LA and you know something's going to go down. I just think it's a really cool one.
I had the same last shot, best shot.
Yeah.
I would go with that for sure. Where is that location? Do we know?
I don't know.
You know, I researched it and couldn't figure it out, but it's got to be somewhere like up in the hills, like near Mulholland Drive or somewhere in there. That whole vortex. Cool. Sean, you have a flex category. Did you already do it?
No, I didn't. You already mentioned it. Well, I'm going to do a different one then. So my flex category is the I used to fuck guys like you in prison award for craziest quote.
Oh, that's good.
I was going to do I don't fuck anybody for money. I do it for fun, which you already mentioned. But what if it was I just wish I knew what the hell I was living for. You can lose it all, you know? I mean, you can lose it no matter who you are. What's the sense of having it all? Market went down 10 points last week. Goddamn Lyndon Johnson. Maybe Nixon will be better. What's the difference? They're all a bunch of jerks. That's Lester at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I think just doing the thesis of the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
A thesis that might apply in 2025.
Sure does.
We have the Butch's Girlfriend Award for weak link of the film. I'd like to nominate the I'd like to suck his cock scene. It's just so crazy. And Beatty apparently fought for it to be in there, but I almost think it's too crazy. I think she was too classy to do that. And it always bothered me with this movie.
Interesting.
Would be my take. I might be wrong.
I think you're supposed to believe she's very drunk.
But then an hour later, she's fine.
Yeah. I wouldn't say she's the best drunk acting actress,
Yeah.
Julie Christie, at least not in this. She starts off, what does she start off with, the Dubonnet? Isn't that what she's drinking at the start of it? She's had a few.
Yeah.
Cruise from Few Good Men to Jerry Maguire got way better at being drunk in a scene.
Big time.
Because Few Good Men was not as
that's
good.
really true. That's really true.
Was not as strong. We always had a theory he had never had a drink before, so he was pretending how to act when he had a drink. But Jerry Maguire, he had it.
How do you
figured out.
direct
He had a
somebody being
poker.
drunk?
He had a poker, so he had like a prop that was kind of helping him, I know.
Yeah, that's a good question. How do you direct somebody to be drunk?
It's
when they're not
really,
drunk?
Glasses
it's
are
really
huge.
hard. It's really hard. They kind of either have it or they don't. And if they try too hard, which they usually do that, you just have to scale it back and scale it back so that it's just.
So you're like, that was really good.
Just get liquid.
Let's try one more.
Get
scale it back
liquidy
10%.
about it. Helps
Yeah.
just to get like, because usually they're just like but it's just like get like you're underwater a little bit is good.
That's good.
It's kind of like doing a hula with it.
So who's the best drunk scene actor of all time? I mean, Dudley Moore was drunk during all of Arthur.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did that.
That's not
and Arthur
acting.
did really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Not acting.
Maybe he wasn't acting.
I mean, we talked about Newman in The Verdict. But it's that like that sullen,
yeah,
quiet
it's almost
drunk,
like it's dark.
You know?
It's like entrenched in your body drunk.
It's not the should we or should we not follow
the harder
advice.
one is like the rom-com where somebody got too drunk and starts yelling at our hero.
Yeah.
It's usually when it goes really wrong. Because
Cameron Diaz is really good in My Best Friend's Wedding.
That's a great one.
That's some good drunk acting.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think Bill Nighy in Love Actually is pretty
that's
good.
a great one too.
He gets pretty liquidy. Especially on Christmas Eve when he shows back up to his manager and you're not sure if they're gonna have sex or something.
A couple what's aged the worst, other than some of the words. The Paul Simon soundtrack I wrote down before you even mentioned it. It's just corny and weird.
I
it's
go
just
with that.
strange.
It seems like he did write a bunch of songs, at least at that time, that ended up on Still Crazy after all these years.
Yes.
But you know what happens? They write songs for the movies that ask them for a song, and when the song turns out too good, they keep it. They don't give you that song.
Yeah, they give you the fourth best song.
There's even a thing in the Bruce Springsteen movie where he writes a song for Donna Summer, and it's is it I'm on Fire or what is it? Yeah, it's like I'm on Fire, and John Landau in the movie goes like, I'm sure glad you didn't give that song to Donna Summer. It's like,
right.
whoa, truth being told.
I mean, honestly, you could have done that with Fever Dog. You could have just said, fuck it. This is a
Too
real song.
good.
I'm
This
giving
has-
this to Pearl Jam.
Thank you.
Give me
Is
a
it too
writer
late?
credit.
I think maybe not too late. I don't know.
If Pearl Jam ever sang Fever Dog in concert,
What would you would explode into molecules? What
I
would
just
happen
think
to
it'd be
you?
really good.
Yeah.
I just think there's
would
certain
be
songs that like they would have been great. There's a couple Springsteen songs they would have crushed at. Cameron, Sean and I always joke about when you own stock early in somebody,
Mm.
you're the all time with Pearl
Yeah,
Jam.
PJ
I
stock.
think
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was like he had NVIDIA stock in 2015 with Pearl Jam. They weren't even a
that's what-
band
now,
yet.
guys, come on.
They were Mookie Blaylock when you had them in singles.
They were indeed Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, you were like the original stockholder.
We put our chips down on that.
Unbelievable. It's so funny that they're still together too. Of
I know,
all the
it's
bands
great.
from that era.
Yeah. Who knew? And Alice in Chains. I mean, though they've,
Um,
sadly.
the only other what's aged the worst is Carrie Fisher did say years later that Beatty tried to get it going with her, which is
Oh man.
17.
4
It's tough
times
on-
she
yeah.
said.
And is it true
Yeah.
that Debbie Reynolds like made sure that she wasn't lit seductively?
Yes.
Yeah, she had
Yes.
Debbie had some notes.
And she tried to
Debbie
get him to
had
change
rightly
the
so.
script, and she couldn't get him to change.
Well,
the
I'm sure
script.
she was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
this is."
I think they wanted to change "wanna fuck" to "wanna screw," and they couldn't get that over.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Ruffalo Hannah Rubeneck Partridge overacting award. I got to bring it up, but Warren Beatty, when he's getting broken up with at the end, kind of dials it up a little bit with the crying thing. It's a little out of the comfort zone. I can't say it 100%.
I'm with you.
Words.
I'm with you on that.
But please don't.
You keep
Yeah.
saying honey over and over.
Honey, no.
Yeah.
It's like the fake true crime cry. in a
Yeah,
way.
I just don't think he would actually cry in real life. Yeah.
I also had the Jay Robinson, the guy who's the real owner of the salon. Who's like still
Right.
running number
Norman.
2 behind
Oh, yeah,
Norman.
yeah.
Yeah, Norman.
Yeah, Norman pushes
he,
it a
he
little
turns
hard.
it up a little bit.
Although it's great when he goes nickel and dime. You got to learn to nickel and dime, George.
So
Pretty
we
funny.
have the CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford. Hottest take award. What do you think of that? Luke Wilson
I
could have
love
been
that.
Harrison Ford's
I
career.
love
Chris
that.
Ryan's the best hottest take in 400 plus rewatchables episodes.
I almost fell out of my chair.
It's
It was
fantastic,
unbelievable.
and it's true, and it's true. Just,
Wow.
I can't tell you how
Confirming
true.
it.
I feel
Yeah,
that
there you go.
deeply in my soul. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Mine is for this. Sean already did his. Did you have one, Cameron?
Yeah, it's the least rewatchable actually of the 3 picture run that Ashby was
I think
on.
that's fair, even
Yeah.
though it's probably
Um,
the most successful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it kind of hurts me to say that in
Yeah.
a way because I
Yeah.
love Shampoo so much. But when I go back over the other 2, I kind of find myself gravitating towards The Last Detail or In the Right Mood, Harold and Maude, of course.
Funny that we didn't say it. This was the number 3 movie at the box office this year.
That's
Yeah.
This movie made
crazy.
$60 million.
That is crazy.
75.
It's good for Warren Beatty.
How did Last Detail do?
Not,
think it was
not
like
nearly as
12
well.
or 15,
Yeah.
much
Wow.
smaller.
My hottest take. I think Goldie Hawn in this mid-70s era was the single most adorable actress of all time.
Hmm.
And it's different than prettiest, sexiest, all that. Just like adorable, where every human being was like, oh, she seems cool.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
oh, she's so cute.
Mm.
Or every guy would have had a crush on her. If you're on a movie set with her, you're just going to have a crush on her, period. I can't think of, other people have swam in these circles, but I don't think as well, which leads to my second hottest take. 15 years too soon. She misses the whole rom-com blow-up era from 89 on, starting When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
She does. Meg Ryan doesn't exist. Meg Ryan's working down the street.
Yeah,
Goldie's
yeah,
taken
yeah.
every part from her for 10 years.
Meg
I
Ryan's
just-
working
Meg
down
Ryan's
the street.
gone.
Yeah.
Meg Ryan-
Meg Ryan's
gone.
delivering
Meg
mail.
Ryan.
Yeah. She
Meg
works at
Ryan's
Dunkin'
bar-
Donuts.
She's Parkinson. She doesn't exist. She's gone. But Goldie Hawn, I just think they didn't have the right kind of. They had great movies,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they didn't have these movies that just would have kept
That's
it
really
going
true.
for her.
She kind of gets it back
She comes back
with
for
like
the
First Wives
First
Club
Wives
and
that.
Banger Sisters
Yeah,
and those
she
movies,
had
which is like kind
second-
of in the same zone, but she's not quite the rom-com.
But she misses that sweet
Yeah.
spot.
She just could have been in my best friend's wedding type of movies for 10 solid years.
killing it for sure.
I watched Private Benjamin recently, and that movie's really good, and she's incredible
Wow.
in that movie. And it's a really weird movie that they just wouldn't make
She's
anymore.
incredible. Yeah.
Casting what ifs couldn't find any. Best that guy award. Tony Bill as Johnny Pope.
He was an Academy Award-winning producer on the film The Sting. So he was a very well-known person in Hollywood, but he occasionally acted, didn't act very often. He
I
does
love Tony
look-
Bell.
He
Yeah.
looks like Warren Beatty on a bad day. You know what I mean? Like he looks just enough like him where you're like, yeah, this guy should be
Like
at
he
this
could
party.
be the extra.
Yeah.
Jack Warden thinks he's getting it on with George.
Yeah,
Come
right,
on,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
He also has a period mustache that kind of
He does.
is both timeless and caught in the cedar.
But it's like if Beatty
time.
was in disguise or something in the
know.
movie, you know, we're like, why is his brother here?
I love how annoyed he is when Lester gets in the car, like after the bistro. It's
Want to get a drink? Yeah.
oh man.
Recasting couch director City. So can I think this movie is very well cast, but can I just offer you for Johnny Pope, sadly?
Oh.
No, we just gave him another
Do
one.
this.
Can I just throw John Cazale in there for the hell of it? Yeah.
That's pretty great.
Let's just grab his time for 2 weeks.
Yeah. And he could do Ascot commercial director. You know,
Oh,
we
that
saw
would've
him
been
do it
great.
as Fredo.
I
would've
think
been
he
good.
played like 5 parts in this movie.
Mhm.
Just get him in
Damn.
there. You did your flex. Half-assed under research. So you mentioned the Paul Simon stuff. Paul Simon did write a title song called Have a Good Time
No.
that Beatty said no.
So we
Scrapped it,
have a
and
good
he put it on the
time.
Still Crazy After
Of
All These Years
course.
album. You mentioned all the Debbie Reynolds stuff, and we did everything else for that. So Apex Mountain is a category we talk about when somebody had the most juice they were ever going to have in their career.
Wow.
And I actually think Beatty this is a yes for him.
Yeah.
Because this movie, he owned a lot of the back end of it. He put a lot of time into it. It's a huge success. And I just think he can do whatever he wants after this. Not that he couldn't have before, but this is the best example of that. This sets up Reds. This sets up
It
everything
all.
he wants to
It
do.
all for sure.
But is he even higher on the mountain and at Heaven Can Wait or at Reds?
I don't know.
Like after Heaven Can Wait or after Reds, has he ascended even further?
Maybe it's Heaven Can Wait. I don't know.
It's a
Could
really
be
good
either.
point. Is it Heaven Can Wait?
I mean,
How many years after this movie is Heaven Can
Three,
Wait? 3
yeah.
years. And in between is
He's turning down stuff. He was
what is The Fortune before or after this?
he's producing it, yeah.
Yeah.
The most interesting one he turned down was Hardcore with Paul Schrader, a movie we've done
Right.
on the Rewatchables. Turn it off! Turn it off! We've done that one. I don't know. I can't see Warren Beatty. He didn't want to have a daughter. That's why he turned it down.
oh wow.
He's like,
interesting.
I'm too young and handsome to have a daughter. So can it be my wife goes and do porn? And they're like, nah, that's not.
No.
It's got to be a teenage daughter.
Yeah, so he has Shampoo and The Fortune in 75 and then Heaven Can Wait in 78 and
For
Reds in 81.
some reason, I feel by the time of Heaven Can Wait, Beatty is a little less like feral Beatty, you know, where he's just like in the culture. Heaven Can Wait's kind of like, you know, like
He's
a,
like a little
like
more
a nice
establishment.
pass, a
Yeah.
nice
Mhm.
romantic comedy turn, but he doesn't have his teeth in it the way he does in Shampoo.
I think it's this. The
I
more I
agree.
think about it.
I agree.
Julie Christie, obviously not, because she did Darling and Dr. Zhivago in the same year, which is like
Pretty good.
Hall of Fame Apex Mountain year.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Like one of the biggest movies of the 60s and a movie where she won an Oscar. You're not topping that. Goldie Hawn, no. Robert Towne? This is a pretty nice run for him. It's got Chinatown in this back to back.
Yes.
I'm going
Pretty
to say
strong.
yes.
I have,
yeah.
I have yes.
Jack Warden, no. It's somewhere in the late 70s. Old school Hollywood scenery in a famous Hollywood movie. It's in play. Triumph Motorcycles as a character in a movie, definitely.
Definitely.
And then late 60s party scenes. I'm trying to think of a better one.
This was the most sprawling for sure.
I'm going to say no on party scenes in general, because
Okay.
not just because
What about
Cameron.
the Peter Sellers movie, The
No,
Party?
the answer for Ooh.
Yes.
It's about a
Good
party.
call.
party scenes all time, Apex Mountain. I'm not just saying that because he's here.
Project
I'm not
X.
even going to look at him.
Yeah, Project X.
No, it's
Number one.
Russell Hammond in Topeka, Kansas.
Yeah. Yeah. Golden God.
You're just
Thanks,
not getting
guys.
a better party scene.
Thanks,
than that.
guys.
I want to see the stat. I'm intentionally not looking at him.
Do you think
Wanna
that was
see
a
my
good
snake?
party?
Which one? The Topeka party?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Seemed like a good party.
Yeah. Everybody's having a good time.
That's what happened in the
He's
70s.
participating with them.
Yeah.
It's like he's one of them. He's there with like Aaron when the snake gets eaten or the mouse gets eaten by the snake.
Next category.
And it's
Just-
the 1984 thing, you know. when he says, like, in 11 years, it's going to be 1984.
Think about that.
Think about that.
This next category we have anyway, but this will be really fun with you here. Cruise or Hanks for the lead part? Who's winning the career total? Is Hanks ahead?
There's only one rational answer.
Hanks
to this
is currently
question.
ahead,
and
but
with
it's
Cameron
close.
here, there's only one rational answer.
I think it's definitely Cruise. It's the role. I don't know if Cruise ever would have played, although he did do Eyes Wide Shut, so maybe all bets are
Frank
off with
T.J.
Cruise.
Mackey is the closest.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where this collision between like I'm a sexual god and all this vulnerability.
it's definitely Cruise.
It's definitely Cruise.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he could have done it.
Hanks
about-
trying is funny. That would be amusing.
That's
it gives the
that's
movie
comedy.
a totally different flavor.
I don't know if he could pull up the haircut.
No.
His hair's like mine. It just goes up.
I don't know if I want to see the hairdryer stuck in his
Right.
like, pants. I don't know.
Scorsese or Spielberg to direct?
Scorsese.
I had
Agreed.
that too. What role would Philip Seymour Hoffman have played?
Lester.
Lester.
Had that as well.
That's a dream to think about.
That's one of the great Philip Seymour Hoffman stories. Is his story? You had him for 2 days,
Yeah. Well, no. I think
and he was sick, or you had him for a week.
we had him for a week.
He
Yeah,
was
and he was
sick
sick.
most
Yeah,
of the
he had
time.
the flu. That's why he's like a little red in the face and stuff, and was like kind of coughing, and his energy was low, but completely brought it.
Did you
He,
know as you're filming it, like
Yeah,
this
he
is like a
announced-
legendary Philip
Yeah.
Seymour Hoffman?
Did you know you were changing my life when you were making those scenes in that movie?
I kind of did, because it was the first scene we filmed, and he was on the street with Patrick Fugit, and they were doing the scene where I was walking with the real Lester Bangs, and so I was watching, him do the very thing that I had done with Lester, and I was listening to it on the headset, and he sounded like Lester, and I had this moment where I wanted to call up David Geffen and just say, talk to him about it, because I felt like it was such a gift that I had been given to be able to do this and in continuity and everything. So they got David Geffen on the phone and said hello, and I go, David Geffen, it's Cameron here. I just did my first scene, and I can't believe that I'm here on the same street where it all happened, and we're filming with the same people, on film that has felt exactly the same. I can't believe, how did I get here? And he goes, Jerry Maguire, and hung up.
Oh my God.
How's that for belief?
Cuts
And,
right to the chase.
Yeah, no, it's like,
Unbelievable.
let's speak truth, and I'll be gone.
So out of all the parts in Almost Famous, which is the one that you felt like you had to get the actor perfectly for the part just for your own sanity? Is it Lester Banks?
No, it was
No,
Patrick Fugit.
Yeah, William Miller.
William Miller.
Gotta be.
But followed closely by Lester, because we saw a lot of people for Lester. And Gail Levin, the casting director, said at the very beginning, you're going to see everybody in town, and you're going to end up with Philip Seymour Hoffman. And it happened exactly like that. And he said, I talked to him, and I said that to him on the phone, like, please play the part. He goes, okay. And I said, can you come and do a couple of weeks of rehearsals to do it? And he was like, I don't think you're going to need that. I'm like, well, I knew this guy. It was very important to me. He's like a mentor. I got to get it right. And he goes, you won't need that much part, but that much time with the part, but I'll come out. So I said, thank you so much. And he showed up. He came to the office. He didn't have the flu yet, but he was in a pretty good mood. And he sat down and he goes, well, let's just do the scenes. And he did all the scenes back to back. And I said, okay, we're rehearsed. This is great. He was there 45 minutes, and he was back to the airport to fly home. That's how dialed in he was on Lester. But kind enough to know that was what was going to happen, but still came out on the promise of 2 weeks. Then when he showed up, he had the flu. And so battled through it. But it gave him a quality that I think was kind of corrosive in a really cool way. He would have brought...
Yeah, he seemed like beaten down, so you kind of needed him to be physically sick.
And when we got to the scene where he's supposed to say, we're the uncool and stuff, I always saw that as a victory scene. We're the uncool. It's like that Todd Rundgren picture that's on his album, Something Anything, where he's like this. It was in my mind. And it was Phil Hoffman that said, why don't we do the scene we're the only two people awake in the world, me and William Miller. We do it quiet, and I'll be sitting.
We're uncool.
And it was spectacular. No.
Then you cut the scene where he's like, William, how's the peeping? How's the peeping? Didn't make sense.
Didn't
He'd
make
already
sense.
done it?
Why? But yes, Lester.
Incredible
He would
actor.
have been the Lester of our current time.
Have you met his son?
No, I
Cooper?
haven't. Yeah, no, I dig him, but I
Great
have not met
kid.
him. Really?
Yeah, we have some mutual friends.
Excellent.
And he's very cool about his dad. He's just like, and he's a really good actor. But he's just like, ask me anything about my dad.
Wow.
Like, my dad was awesome. Like, I'm totally cool talking about it. But
I love that.
He's a really good actor. All right, picking nits. Would Felicia have been more upset that George probably just fucked her 17-year-old daughter? I feel like yes.
I suspect yes.
So maybe Beatty was correct.
So you too have notes on Lee Grant's performance.
I'm just trying to. I can't judge the 1968.
I
What
think
was going on that
I think
year?
there's a case to be made that there's like a shell shock protectionist quality that goes into play when something like that happens, where you're just like block it out. Tunnel
pretend it
vision.
didn't happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
What do you
there's-
have for picking nits? What's your biggest one?
Just like the thing that doesn't quite work.
You're thinking like, come on. After you've seen a movie 7 times and you're like, all right, that blah blah blah.
I had a note. What was it? It was it was like I just got confused whose house the party was and stuff. So that to me was like, why do they all end up there? And I don't quite get why Lester is upset to go there, and it's kind of supposed to be his house. So I kind of got tripped up there. But that may not be the most stellar choice, but that kind of rubbed at me. One of the things that I was curious about is like, are we supposed to think that she slept with Johnny Pope on the night of the party, Jill, or
It's
did she
intentionally
never?
ambiguous.
It's ambiguous.
Yeah.
Like Beatty accuses her of it or kind of hints at it, I think. But are we supposed to think it happened?
Yeah,
or,
he like
or
has to
not
come into the
happened?
house, but she says no, which indicates that like he would follow her into the house because they had been intimate, but we don't really know what happened.
And is she sleeping with him to get the part, or does she have more agency than that, and she's just going to be who she is, man? And I don't know. It's a little. It may
What'd
not
you
be
have?
the perfect answer, but
How do you get a loan when you're a hairdresser to open a salon?
In 1968.
What do you got to present to the bank? What's what's the process there? Like, do you bring in clients and say, like, these clients are coming with me? Like, how, what was George's plan
I think that's
here?
why they shut him down.
But like, if you were actually trying to do that, how would you do? You probably just need an independent investor. You can't get a bank to do it. But just this whole process of pursuing that is very funny, where thinks he's going to be able to get this, and he's just like, just trust me, bro. I got clients. That whole thing is all a little squishy as well.
I was a little squishy on how low the ask was. It's like 10,000 or
Yeah.
something. And so Lester has to really think about it. It's like, does this guy really have money, or is he even in 1968, or is he a fraud?
Yeah. How rich is
I
he?
have 2 for the party. This will be a good example of how picking nits works. One is pretty stealth. The valets just get the cars way too quick. It's a huge party.
It's a great note.
Cars are
Yeah.
You're out at that party. You're out there for 20 minutes.
Yep.
Other people are out. People are smoking. You're talking to people. The valet show up. These cars are ready in it. But this is the bigger one. How does the motorcycle get to the last party? We see him in a car with Julie Christie going to the party. Then the second thing, but he leaves the last party on his Triumph motorcycle. How?
Wow.
He didn't take the motorcycle there.
Wow.
Nice call, man.
Wow.
Nice
Should we delete this
call.
episode? What the hell? This movie is null and void. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Maybe he made a call and someone brought it over.
Well, since Cameron's here, we have to do a couple of picking nits for Jerry Maguire.
Please.
Oh gosh.
Why would Denver
Don't let.
want to trade up for Frank Cushman in 1996 when they had John Elway? Where was your sports consultant on that one?
Can we travel back in time and just get in a room
They
and
had
work
John
this out?
Elway. What do they need another quarterback?
Well, maybe they were thinking about, how to continue the
future after
legacy of
John
great.
Elway?
Yeah.
Guys, it was a parallel universe, please.
Okay. All right.
All things
All
are
right.
That's a good
possible.
answer.
Jesus.
Um,
Don't you want to live there?
Dorothy
Come on.
had a young kid in health benefits. Is she really quitting? She's got a young child.
This did come up in our discussion of the film, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty risky move. But she was inspired, right?
She was
She was
inspired.
inspired.
The inspiration.
I will go with you. And this is very close to the theme of the movie, you guys. This is like the people you don't expect who show up
All right. That's a good
when
answer.
you need somebody. It's the
Yep.
people you planned on being there for you.
Yep.
Don't show up, and that's usually how it works.
When you were suspended by ESPN, where was I? Right by your side.
You were.
I was right by your
You
side.
didn't care
Bill.
about health benefits.
I did not.
Warren Beatty calling the night of the LA Times story. It's like, fuck, where did that guy come from? All my friends, silent. It's like this is why Dorothy makes that move. She is that character.
Sean, what if you had a child?
Yeah.
Would
If you had
I,
a child,
would I have followed Bill?
Yeah.
He's
No,
still
I would
at
not.
ESPN.
Interesting, no chance.
He's producing NBA Countdown. This was the big one. We've argued about this in the movie. How he got back to the divorced women's support group after the Monday Night Football game.
How long had that meeting been going on?
So the Monday Night Football game starts 9:07 Eastern, 1995. 7:07 Phoenix time, or is that 8:07 Phoenix time? So 1 hour back?
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour back. 7:07. Game ends 10:30. Press conference. Airport pre 9/11 though.
The time travel happens in the airport.
11:30.
That's where the splice happens.
Lands in LAX. So the divorced women's group is still going at 1 in the morning. Is this
Absolutely.
conceivable? Okay, so we just have to buy into
They
that.
got fucking problems, man. They gotta work through some shit.
Is there
Everybody's
coffee?
tired. You can tell.
Is there coffee at that point? Is it like
There's
11:30?
coffee,
Like I need a little
but
caffeine.
by the time he gets there, my mom is counseling everybody in the room. It's like, all their stories are gone, and she's just talking about neural pathways and stuff. I mean, I like your close attention to this, but
See, this is what we do.
I'm
But
here
he's
to help
considered
you
it.
through this stuff.
There's
Let's hold
intentionality.
hands.
Yeah.
The biggest, the best one of all the ones we just mentioned, though, is the Triumph motorcycle is not at that last party. It's just not.
You
Just
split-
one
you s-
Oscar.
You split
You
my
can
head open
only
with
give
that
one Oscar to anything in the movie. What do you give it to?
Can I give it to the guy that does the Indian chant at the bistro?
Best supporting actor?
I just want to give it to him, or the woman who's next to Jackie when she's talking about like wanting to suck his cock.
Oh yeah.
The woman
Her reaction.
at the table.
Oh, who
next
does
is
like the-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, Lee Grant won it, so I guess that's the answer. That's our answer. If somebody actually won the Oscar.
I would make a case for Town. I think the script is
Oh,
amazing.
interesting. Yeah.
Probably unanswerable questions. We already did all mine, unless you guys have any other ones.
I mean, did George ever get a salon? Did Lester pay for it? Did Lester and Jackie make it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a definite no.
Yeah.
You think they made it?
No. I'm saying I'm
They broke
agreeing
up.
with they broke up.
Yeah,
But how
that one,
long? And does she move on to another situation? No,
I think she found somebody else who
Okay.
had some money and
Okay.
I'm with you.
maybe a
I
little
think
younger.
that's what happens. Does George get the shop at all?
I'm gonna say he's too much of a
He's a flake.
flake. I don't think he could run a business.
Did anybody talk about what happens to George? Any of the
I think he's
filmmakers?
bounced around a few hair salons. I think there might have been some late 70s cocaine,
Right.
a path
Mm.
for him. Try this. This stuff's great.
No
And
tragic
then
end.
2 years later, he's just getting fired from his third salon.
I got you.
Yeah, I think it goes kind of badly for
Yeah,
George.
yeah,
would be my
yeah.
take. What piece of memorabilia would you want or not want from this movie? I think the Triumph is eligible. And
So-
I think
Oh,
that's
well,
the answer.
That's
Triumph
what I
is good.
chose. I am not a motorcycle person. In fact,
Just
I
be
don't want to
cool.
get on a motorcycle. I don't want to
Yeah.
ride in one. I'm scared of them. And yet I want the motorcycle. That's how cool that motorcycle
The
is.
brown leather jacket, I think, is in the running too. The
Mm.
jacket he has for the one he whips into the garbage.
Mm.
I was kind
Great
of disappointed by
60s
that
jacket.
jacket.
You don't like it?
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was iconic enough. It seemed kind of
Mm.
thin and shiny in a way.
Like
but
cheap.
that's just me. A little cheap, and maybe that's good character.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about the blow dryer?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a really good one.
autograph. Yeah, that's good.
It depends. It's like, do you want a usable prop? Do you want
Mhm.
something like the Triumph where you can just like ride around on it? Is the Triumph just for show? Do you
I
want
think it's for
something?
show.
It's
You
for
just
show.
put it right in the
So it's
living
like-
room.
Yeah, got it.
I feel like category should be modified a little bit to be the rewatchable studio prop from the movie.
What
Like
prop would
what
we
could you
want?
put in a glass case in
Like
this
the cu-
room?
like the
Yeah.
Cush
What would
thing.
be in the Cush spot?
Yeah.
Cush corner. Yeah.
I would go with the earring just because
Oh,
it's like
Ooh.
that's good.
it's like the scene in the apartment, like the cracked mirror. It's just everything kind of spins on it, and it's just there.
Are you aware of the memorabilia auction rise for Hollywood stuff? You must be.
A little bit, yeah.
Like the Shawshank Bible going for like $450,000.
Damn, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like shit's going down. People
How
are
much
paying
can
for
we?
stuff.
How much can we get
Star
for the
Wars
Penny Lane
helmets?
coat?
Yeah. Greg's excited in the corner. He's like, wait, what? Yeah.
You keep it all. The Penny Lane coat. Could we get some?
No, I think
Are you asking us to bid on it or
No, I'm
Okay.
just like asking. Just like I'm like Lester
I would say
here.
just
What's-
From
How much
Almost
do you think we
Famous,
get for something?
wouldn't it be the Russell Hammond guitar used in the concert scene would
That-
probably
Wow.
have the highest?
Lloyd's boombox, maybe something like
Oh,
that.
that's
Lloyd's boombox.
God.
You don't have that, do you?
It's in my garage.
Oh my god!
Come on.
How
Don't
much
sell-
is it
just
worth
don't-
to you?
Don't,
Oh my God.
don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Yeah, that you
Don't-
can't
don't
sell.
it. Don't
No,
sell it.
never. I never saw that stuff.
That's like, yeah, that's up there.
Did
with
you
the
see it
Shawshank
came back?
Bible.
That it was memed again when Cusack was at the Cubs game? Did you see? And he had
I
his arms
did,
up and
I
people were
did.
putting the
I
boombox
did.
up.
I'm surprised.
It's
Yeah.
eternal, man.
It's
That's
it's so amazing.
My daughter said this era is coming back. The Lloyd Dobler era is coming back.
God willing.
That's her theory. This show, Summer I Turned Pretty on Amazon. Everyone loves this character, Conrad. And he's a big, like, he's like a quarter yearner person. And my daughter, who's 20, was like, this is, women want to be courted. Like, nobody courts us anymore. And that's why we like Conrad. And I was like, it sounds like you would have liked
love
Lloyd
that.
Dobler.
Lloyd is the only one that I would write and have thought about writing more about, more of
his
the
story?
story
Oh,
of
Lloyd now? He
Yeah.
owns a series of Muay Thai studios
Yeah.
in Northern
or
California.
any number of eras. Just he's so much fun to write that character. I loved it. I love it still.
That's a little
And
that's dangerous
guys,
to say out loud.
filmed by Laszlo Kovacs.
Mhm.
The boombox scene is
Unbelievable.
fucking filmed by the guy that
Yeah.
filmed Shampoo.
Also, a
Beautiful.
very important
Beautiful.
song choice scene.
Indeed, yeah. Only one song worked, and we did try
Peter Gabriel.
everything.
Coach Finstock wore best life lesson. Everyone sells out. I don't know if I agree with
It
the
doesn't
lesson,
have
but,
to be that way.
but that's the lesson of the movie or the theme, right?
yeah.
We're all going to sell out at some point.
Well, it's kind of like an acid burn takeaway in the year that Jaws comes out and kind of changes movies forever. That like you could say this is the highest arc of being able to end a movie where everyone loses.
Yeah.
And then
Did you have anything different?
Just that Jill is the only one that claws her way out of that. So so optimism and hope does triumph in some way, even in this kind of circumstance.
So Jill represents the Jimmy Carter presidency.
Or
I'm just
a-
keep going. Yeah. Expound.
Sounds like,
Yeah.
sounds like give me more.
or what didn't Town say Jill is his attempt to write what a 70s woman was going to be,
Mm.
who had more control over herself and was able to make her own choices and not be so dependent on finances or men. And that's his attempt to like have a little bit of a happy ending to it. So I kind of go with that as a mini lesson. There's a way out of this sellout generation.
What do you have for double feature choice?
I wrote the parallax view down as basically just like the two sides of the Beatty persona where like there's not a single laugh in the parallax view. The whole time you're like, what the fuck?
And
is
it's right the
going on
movie
here?
right before this movie.
Yeah, and it's right before this.
Interesting.
Cool choice. I went Rules of the Game, which I think was, a father of this movie in a way. The interrelationships, the kind of wistful feeling that Jean Renoir, the director who acts in Rules of the Game, has. I would love to watch the two of them together.
I had Nashville. I just went 1975 sprawling,
That's cool.
two different areas.
Yeah.
Both political, both full of music.
And then who won the movie? It's got to be Beatty.
Beatty.
Yeah.
Beatty,
Yeah.
all the way.
All right. This is where we asked producer Craig, who hasn't seen a lot of these movies, especially before the 2000s, what he thought.
Loved it. Totally loved it. I'm increasingly starting to love all the movies from this era, but the charisma.
We've
of all-
corrupted him.
Yeah, the charisma of all the actors in this movie just jumps off the screen so much. I also just appreciate that this movie's trying to say something and is also just a good time and very enjoyable. And it feels like more and more now, movies that are trying to say something have to be serious or depressing. And a lot of your movies say something but are fun hanks and are enjoyable and laid back. And I don't know, this movie is just so unrecognizable to everything that's going on today in so many ways. Like we talked about LA, but I mean, just the fact that it's such a small movie, such a small story, and it made $60 million, which is the equivalent of 360 today. It made $300 million adjusted for inflation domestic, which is the same that the new Jurassic Park made this year. Like,
Wow.
It is just so remarkable that a movie this small can do what it did back then. But yeah, I just loved it across the board. It's amazing.
So
It was
great.
both small but had major stars in it, which
Yeah.
always helps.
This is a really hard thing to do. And it's also really true to make a point and sugarcoat it enough in like charisma, great casting, and all that stuff where it goes down so easy, and it's not about you must remember this, which does make those movies so serious.
Yeah.
I love it when you realize later how much was packed into the shit that made you laugh.
Sometimes it's good to have major stars in a movie like this, and other times it isn't. Like I was like the sliding doors of Almost Famous was if Brad Pitt's Russell Hammond is it a better or a worse movie, right? And that almost happened. And I actually think it's better that he wasn't, even though I love Brad Pitt.
But in this
Same here.
case, it's so important that Beatty, who everyone knew at the time to be a ladies' man, to make a movie about
He
being
has
a
to be
ladies'
this
man.
person.
And he never made a movie like this. So the idea of him leveraging that persona for everybody was genius.
Like Burt Reynolds couldn't have been this.
He could have done it. It just wouldn't have been as good.
It would have felt off.
For sure, it would have felt off. I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
What is the best use of celebrity in a movie? Like big stars. What's your favorite use of big stars? When they're slightly off brand or when they go full into brand?
So we talk about this a lot. The thing I always say is every once in a while I want the A-lister to be an A-lister. Just like do like in Cruise, Jerry Maguire is one of the ones we mentioned, right? He's like in Interview the Vampire the year before, dyed hair, and he's in Far and Away, and sometimes people just need to be the person we fell in love with in a movie. It sounds like stupid, but I don't think it's stupid. Just every few years, be the person that we like.
Yeah. I always think of Denzel as an interesting example of this because he very rarely transforms. He's always Denzel.
Right.
He doesn't dye his hair blonde. And his movies are varying quality, right? And when they're good, they're the best movies of all time. And when they're bad, they can be pretty bad. And yet there's something always very watchable about him.
Yeah.
You know, you'll watch him kind of make I've watched every Equalizer movie and I really enjoy myself watching them. Another actor, I don't think I would have any time for those movies. So I do think that but that's the 1% of the 1% of major stars. I mean, you know better than anybody, like how hard it is to find somebody who the audience will be like, I'm with you no matter what.
Yeah.
Which I think Chalamet might have that quality.
I agree.
He's the next one of the under 30 guys. Leo definitely had it.
You've seen Marty. Like that's not a very likable character, and yet you're with him throughout that movie.
Did you see it coming early on Chalamet?
You know
that he had that.
Yeah, in Homeland season 1 when he played the young the boyfriend of the girl's mother. Yeah,
I didn't see that one right away with him because he was really good in Call Me by Your Name, but I certainly didn't think he was going to be like the next guy. Leo was a little different because he was clearly really good. And I remember I've told this story about seeing him in a Growing Pains episode when he was this adopted kid on Growing Pains, and he was just so much better than everybody. He was crying and flipping out. I was like, oh my God, But it wasn't until This Boy's Life where you're like, protect this person at all costs.
With Chalamet, I've just been saying that this next movie, I think, is the ultimate test of if the thing that a lot of your movies have, that a lot of movies over the last 75 years have, it still exists. That like, can you make an original movie, character-based drama that is not IP, that is not an event movie, and will people show up primarily because of who the star is? And is there enough of a wave of excitement for him that they'll buy into it because of that?
And Chalamet has evolved into what Leo didn't have to do 20 years ago, which is Chalamet knows how to sell his movie and is actively involved in the marketing of the film.
I saw that viral piece.
And he's just has great instincts for that, which is something Leo didn't have to do and actively refused. He didn't do SNL. He wouldn't do stuff like that. Tim leans all in.
When they know kind of like how to use themselves and like how much you can kind of like move the aperture, but like really it's got to be this kind of thing, and they're smart enough to know that like going wildly off in another direction might be artistically satisfying and, you know, sexy, but it's not going to work. And Cruise is a little bit like that. Like I heard him talking to somebody once who wanted him to do basically a cameo, and wouldn't it be fun if? And he was really smart about it. He said like, I could do it, but it would mess up your movie because I would that ship would tilt in a way that it would take on water. And I almost wish it wasn't that way. But when I'm in a movie, it kind of has to be right there. And TJ Mackey is the only time where I kind of could mess around and be a smaller character doing such and such, but still use the thing. But like basically, I have found over time that if you put me in a movie, I kind of draw attention. And so it's got to be kind of used in that way. And I thought that was so super smart.
You know what's interesting is PTA feels the exact opposite. He loves bringing like major famous people into his movie and kind of explaining. I don't even know if there's a right answer because I agree more with the Cruise angle of like, I don't want to get taken out of the movie I'm watching because somebody's so famous.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, this person's in there? But yeah, it's I mean, if I was an up-and-coming star, I would just want to work with good directors. I think that blueprint's been established. Like that's how you're going to win. But I do think the superhero capes screwed everything up for an entire generation. You felt like
totally agree.
It was like, can you make it to the point where I might get a superhero movie, and that was your goal instead of like, ooh, good directors want to work with me.
Yeah.
You hit a point in the '90s where people are like, if I'm in that guy's movie, I'm going to come off well, and that's where
the best
I
place
would
to be.
Yeah, that would be my Chalamet advice. Just go where the directors are, dude.
I think he got the best advice ever from Leonardo DiCaprio, right? He said, no hard drugs, no superheroes.
Wow.
That's great advice.
And keep a little mystique.
Keep a little mystique is huge.
Yeah.
Because you can blow that so easily. And you're basically asked to blow it constantly because we got to sell the movie. We got to do this and this and this and this. And the people that know to hold back, those are the ones that you lean forward and you go to.
That was Nicholson.
Nicholson
was like, coming up next on The Tonight Show, there's Jack Nicholson. Like, if he went on anything, you were stunned.
They wanted him to be on the cover of Rolling Stone once, and I remember, and he sent back the message like, I don't want to appear as myself on the cover, and I won't do it. I also won't be on TV because then I'll be in your living room and I'll be your friend. I'm not your friend. I'm supposed to be very big, and I'm supposed to be somebody that you come to see because you don't know enough about me. And sorry.
Well, that's what made it so crazy when he came to the '84 finals in Boston, and he was just there as a Laker fan. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, Nicholson's here! This is up there, like giving us the middle finger." Like we just felt like it broke our brains,
which is mystique.
Yeah. It's just crazy they did it. Leo's done a great job. I mean, Leo's in his 50s now, and I still don't feel like I know that much about him.
Which,
but then he likes the ladies.
You gotta love.
That's about it. You want to talk about your book for a quick second? How long were you working on it?
I don't know, a couple of years, definitely. It was writing for pure joy. Just like I'd done enough scripts at the time, and we had worked on a musical of Almost Famous, and I just felt like I want to get back to like the analog thing a little bit and learn about my dad and some stuff that happened growing up that I didn't really know enough or had written about, and to also tell some of the stories behind the stories that I'd written for Rolling Stone. And so this is just me, basically the first language of writing, just writing for pure joy on yellow legal tablets. I had like 800 pages and
his
cut it down.
Fingers still worked.
Literally.
My fingers stopped working.
His
my
John's don't work anymore.
It's my favorite kind of writing.
Do they work?
We'll see. One of these
On
days.
Work on it,
Letterboxd,
guys.
right?
Work on it. No,
Not
it's
like
good.
his.
It's good.
Yeah, I guess you do write some letterbox stuff every once in a
Every
while.
once in a while, yeah.
I read emails. That's about it at this point.
And do it really well.
I wrote like 5 million words. I mean, what do people want from me? I wrote for 15
It's
straight
gone.
years.
It's time for mystique.
What they want,
10,000 words a
yeah.
week for 15 years,
I mean,
20
they want
years.
more. They're demanding more. They're demanding more from you.
I love writing. I just love it. I love it, and I love directing where the words come to life with the actors, kind of actors that we were talking about. It's the most fun. You know what's the most fun of directing, besides putting the music on the scenes? The little things that an audience finds that cracks them up that you had no idea was funny. Because that means you've built characters that they care about.
Right.
So like the little things.
What's an example of that in one of your movies someone told you about?
I don't know, like in Jerry Maguire, I can come up with Bonnie Hunt saying, "Don't cry at the beginning of the date, cry at the end," like I do, which we thought was like a funny little filler line, and it's like
Gets huge laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Almost Famous, Eric Stone Street saying, "You got a message from your mother. She's a handful." Biggest laugh in the movie.
That's a great
The
movie.
clerk saying, "She's a handful." So like. That's the stuff that makes you really laugh because you've cut that line a million times and somehow it snuck back in and it ends up like bringing the house down. It's the most fun, and you never find out until the first time you show the movie, and it never changes.
Yeah,
like
the only
in different
experience I've had with that,
countries.
with doing
Always the
documentaries, same thing. It's always shocking what hits. You just have, because you've seen all the cuts of stuff and you have no idea.
Sometimes it
And
can
then
be
you're
a
like,
word.
oh, that one? Really?
Yeah.
You can't believe it.
It can be a
But for a
word.
movie, it's got to be more fun.
Sometimes it's a gesture. It's wild. And so, I love doing it. And the book is really an extension of personal writing, which is my favorite kind of movie making and my favorite kind of writing. And
I'm glad you're
songs,
writing again.
And songs.
I mean, shit.
The personal stuff.
You've had one of the most unique careers. When the Rolling Stone, how old were you?
15 when I started.
Think about that.
Will you do like a
Think
like
about
a,
that, Sean. How old's your daughter?
I'm a huge failure. What do you
I
want
know,
me to
how about-
say?
how
I've
old's your
accomplished
daughter?
nothing. I
No.
agree.
How old's your daughter?
My daughter's 4.
So 11 years from now, writing for Rolling Stone? That seems inconceivable.
I don't see that happening for a variety of reasons. But I will explain to her how special Cameron's life and work is.
I just think that's crazy that you were able to fulfill a task at age 15.
Yeah.
I was like barely handing term papers in.
Will you do like a follow up to this? Because this is only a part of your life. This isn't everything that you've done.
I probably will. The next one is going to be a collection of the journalism that happened during the time, because this is kind of like how the stories happened and everything. So the next one is going to be a collection of the stories from the time, and also I re-interviewed a lot of the same people, like Fleetwood Mac and even Bowie, and I just, in the last 15 years, I went around and and talked again to a lot of the people that we did those big cover stories on, and it was fascinating how they related to their younger selves, and so that's in there too. And then maybe I'll write more, but I want to make some movies now.
What was the best concert?
Especially talking to you guys.
I know you're rejuvenated.
Come on, man, come on.
What was the single best concert you ever went to?
The Who, San Diego. One of the first concerts, maybe the second concert I ever went to. Amazing concert. I had like a cheap seat, and I snuck down right before the Who came on, and the audience, like huge, like all the general seating people just like crammed up to the front, and I got caught up in it, and I got slammed to the front of the barrier, and so they were 6 feet away from me, and the Who come out, fucking Keith Moon tumbles onto the drum set across the stage, and Daltrey comes out swinging his mic, and Entwistle puts on his bass, and then Townsend comes out in this silver jumpsuit with the crown, and he goes, "Hello, San Diego, what a pleasure to be here in your trash can," because the sports arena looks like a trash can. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
he knows San Diego, he knows everything, and then the audience crushed me into the barrier, and I couldn't breathe. But
At
that
some
was
point,
the best.
That's great. At some point, can you write a book about movies the way Tarantino did? I love the Tarantino book. Just like 8-9 movies that meant something to you and why.
Absolutely.
I think it's an easy layup book
So
for
fun.
you.
Thanks. I mean, and
This was chapter 1.
It would be about the personal, the personal experience that you have with the movie.
I think every great director should be forced to write a book like that.
Forced?
Yeah,
Like in a
forced.
fascist
No,
regime where they all have
Trump
to write books?
does a
Okay.
decree.
Great. Okay. We'll
It's
look into
like,
that.
Here's what I've decided. We're gonna have these people. It's gonna be great.
That's the
It's
kind
gonna
of
be
thing I would
tremendous.
ask him for if I got his ear. I'd be like, can you please send down a decree that Cameron Crowe write a movie book just for me to read?
And protect movie theaters.
Yeah.
Can you do that too? Cameron Crowe, this was a true pleasure. Good luck
So
with the book.
great.
And
Thanks, you
thank you
guys.
for our Kush sign.
Well, Kush will be
I
here
can't
to
wait to
bless your
figure out.
future
It's gonna be.
experiences.
I'll figure it out. It'll be prominently somewhere.
Just as long as you hear little strains of Kush lash when you look at that.
Yeah. This
It'll
is
be
great
important.
though. Thanks to Hal. Thanks
Thanks
to Craig
you guys.
as well.
Thanks, Craig.
Thanks to Eduardo, and we'll see you in the Rewatchables next week.
Fantastic. Thanks for letting me come in and hang.